Chapter 8:23. Zhao Yun was very fast at cooking. After a while, the dishes were out of the pot. After cooking one dish, Zhao Yun asked Liang Jinxiao to bring it to the table and asked the men to eat first. It would take some time for the men to drink, and the remaining dishes would be served one by one. When Zhao Yun finished cooking the pig's offal, old Zhao's family was also waiting for lunch. Zhao Yun put a plate of pig's offal and brought it over. Old Zhao's family moved the table out and prepared to eat in the yard. Zheng Qian was asked to sit at the top table. Hua Chunhua cooked the lunch herself. Except for the third branch and the fourth branch, the first branch and the second branch were not good at cooking. If the meat was cooked for them, it would be a waste of ingredients. Now that the third branch was separated, the fourth branch's daughter-in-law went up the mountain to help cook, so she had to cook by herself. The meat was stewed, so there was no need to put oil in it. Otherwise, if it was braised, oil would have to be added. Hua Chunhua was reluctant to do that. In addition to the meat, Hua Chunhua also cooked a few side dishes. This time, she put more oil in them, which was rare. However, the dishes were dark and looked unappetizing. After putting the dishes on the table, Zheng Qian glanced at them and didn't want to eat. Li Chuang attentively put the bowls and chopsticks on the table and asked Zheng Qian to eat. "Child Zheng, come on. You must be hungry. Hurry up and eat." Zheng Qian glanced at the bowls and chopsticks again. They were very old and even had some mold on them. They looked dirty. Zheng Qian had no appetite. He didn't even want to touch the bowls and chopsticks. Seeing that Zheng Qian didn't want to eat, Lu Chuang's heart tightened. She asked, "Child Zheng, is it because our food is too shabby and you don't like it?" Before Zheng Qian could say anything, the attendant who came with him couldn't help complaining, "Your dishes are so dirty. It would be strange if our young master has an appetite to eat them. Even I don't want to eat them." After the attendant finished speaking, the expressions of old Zhao's family members changed slightly. They were very embarrassed. These dishes didn't look good, but with a lot of oil and water, they were much better than usual. Well, Li Chuang didn't know what to say. No matter how much she thought about it, she didn't expect Zheng Qian to dislike the food because it wasn't clean. What should I do now? The dishes have already been cooked, and there is no way that I can cook them again, Zheng Qian said lightly. "It's okay, Auntie. I'm not hungry. You can eat." Li Chuang understood that even though Zheng Qian said he was fine, he didn't want to eat because the food was not to his liking. While Li Chuang was worrying about what to do, Zhao Yun finished making the pig offal. She filled a bowl, brought it over, and placed it on old Zhao's table. Zhao Yun's pleasant voice rang out. "Second aunt, come here." When the pig offal was brought over, a fragrant smell entered everyone's nose. Smelling the smell, people couldn't help but swallow their saliva. The taste should be pretty good too. Zheng Qian had never seen such a thing before. He looked into the bowl curiously. It also looked very good, and it was very appetizing. His gaze then fell on Zhao Yun. He found that the girl was very delicate and pretty. She wasn't a beauty, but she gave people a comfortable feeling. Especially her pair of dark eyes, they were very lively and seemed to be able to talk. Chapter 8:24. What's this? Zheng Qian pointed at the pig offal on the table and asked Zhao Yun curiously. Zhao Yun replied indifferently, "Pig offal." Hearing the words, "pig offal," Zheng Qian and the servants' faces changed slightly. "Pig offal? How can you serve such a dirty and smelly thing to my master? Do you think my master is like you country bumpkins? Even if he's serving ordinary people, he doesn't need to serve such a thing." The servant said angrily and looked at old Zhao's family with a trace of disdain in his eyes. Country bumpkins were country bumpkins. They didn't have anything good to serve them, so they only served such a useless thing. Zhao glanced at the servant speechlessly. "What's wrong with pig offal? What's wrong with country bumpkins eating it? Don't eat it if you dare. I'm not asking you to eat it. Really." Hearing Zhao Yun's words, the servant was even angrier. Country bumpkins didn't know the rules at all. Anyway, he followed his master here, so he was considered a guest. How could he treat a guest with such an attitude? "Master." The servant looked at Zheng Qian with an aggrieved expression, hoping that Zheng Qian would help him reprimand his master. Zheng Qian took a deep look at Zhao Yun, as if he was thinking about something. Li Chuang was afraid that Zheng Qian would be angry and misunderstand, so he hurriedly explained to Zheng Qian. Master Zheng, actually, it's not like that. It's not that we're poor and can only serve you pig offal. You don't know that the pig offal made by my niece is not only not smelly, but also tastes good. It's much better than meat. If you don't believe me, you can try it. The servant didn't notice until Li Chuang said so. It seemed that pig offal didn't stink. Zheng Qian nodded. Yes, aunt. If this girl didn't say it, who would know it was made of pig offal? It's really shocking. As for how it tastes, we can only comment after tasting it. My family's servants are too reckless. As Zheng Qian said, he picked up the chopsticks and curiously picked up a piece of pig offal to eat. When he tasted the pig offal, Zheng Qian was shocked. He didn't know that pig offal could taste so good. Delicious, delicious. I've eaten so many delicious things, but I've never tasted anything better than this. Zheng Qian's words were like a slap to the attendant's face. The attendant felt a little guilty because of his words just now. Li Chuang heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Zheng Qian's words. She was afraid that Zheng Qian would not eat, so there was nothing to serve Zheng Qian. Now, with Zhao Yun's pig offal, Zheng Qian could at least eat some. Xiao Lu, help me get some rice. Zheng Qian ordered the attendant. After eating the pig offal made by Zhao Yun, Zheng Qian immediately felt his appetite increase. He wanted to continue eating, so he ordered Xiao Lu to help him scoop rice. Xiao Lu nodded. Yes, young master. When the rice was placed on the table, the waiters served Zheng Qian a bowl of rice. Zheng Qian and old Zhao's family began to eat happily together. Because they were hosting Zheng Qian, the lunch today was definitely very good for old Zhao's family. Knowing that Zheng Qian would only eat pig offal, old Zhao's family tactfully didn't touch the pig offal and ate other dishes. At least there was meat today, which they couldn't eat normally. Chapter 8:25. She bit her chopsticks and hesitated for a while. In the end, she picked up a piece of pig's offal. There was so much pig's offal in the bowl anyway. It was fine for her to eat a little. She tasted the pig's offal, which was much better than other dishes. She looked at the pig's offal in the bowl again. When she was about to pick up another piece, Li Chuang couldn't help but say, Aunt, there's too much pig's offal. Auntie, there's only this much pig offal. Young Master Zheng still wants to eat more. You can eat one piece and leave the rest for young Master Zheng. Li Chuang said that in a negotiating tone, but Zhao Yun knew that Li Chuang was scolding her for being greedy. Zhao Ping pursed her lips and looked a little unhappy. Mom, I want to eat. There's so much pig's offal. What's wrong with me eating a few more pieces? Zhao Xinhui pulled Hua Chunhua's sleeves aggrievedly. Hua Chunhua cared about her daughter very much. She said to Li Chuang, the rest of us haven't eaten yet. What's wrong with letting your younger sister eat a few more pieces? Since Hua Chunhua stood up for him, Li Chuang naturally couldn't say anything more. However, he felt very uncomfortable in his heart. Zhao Xinhui was a gluttonous and insensible person. Hua Chunhua had spoiled her too much and spoiled her too much. Mom, Lord Jing doesn't have much to eat. My younger sister can eat a few pieces if she wants, but she can't help eating a lot. Li Chuang pouted. Zhao Xinhui was instantly annoyed. Lord Jing marrying Zhao Jinger had nothing to do with her. Aunt, you're so nice to your future son-in-law. What's wrong with me eating? Jing will only be a concubine in the future. How can you be so happy? Do you think your daughter has hooked a rich husband? Zhao Xinhui's tone was very aggressive. It seemed that she despised Li Chuang. Even Zhao Xinhui didn't care about Zheng Qian's background, not to mention that Zhao Jing was just marrying him as a concubine. Li Chuang's face immediately turned red. Zhao Xinhui, you little b****, what are you talking about? She must be jealous of their Jing. She couldn't get married, so she came out to make a fuss at this time. Wasn't she hoping that Zheng Qian would be angry and unhappy, so that the marriage with their Jing could not be discussed later? Zhao Jing's expression was also ugly, feeling that Zhao Xinhui was mocking her for her lack of knowledge. Zheng Qian coughed awkwardly. Auntie Jing is right. I shouldn't be the only one eating so much pig offal. You guys should eat it too. Humph, at least you know what's good for you. Zhao Xinhui snorted and continued to pick up the pig's offal with a proud look. Although Zheng had a lot of money, old Zhao's family knew that there was only so much money in a bowl. 1 yuan per person would probably be gone. It was better to leave it for Zheng Qian. Zheng Qian was quite satisfied with this meal because of Zhao Yun's pig offal. After eating, Zheng Qian became a little interested in Zhao Yun, so he pretended to ask casually, "Auntie, this pig offal is really delicious. Who was the girl who brought the pig offal over?" Li Chuan was angry at the mention of Zhao Yun and this bowl of pig offal. Chapter 8:26. Zheng Qian nodded with a thoughtful look on his face. Was Zhao Yuna really the kind of woman that Li Chuan described? Although Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's son, in Li Chuan's eyes, Zhao Yuna was just a woman with a child without any status. If His Highness really cared about her, why didn't he marry Zhao Yuna after she had his child? In the end, it was because Zhao Yuna didn't have enough weight in Mu Lianfeng's heart. The reason why Zhao Yuna could be so arrogant now was because Daodu was His Highness's child. Once His Highness abandoned Zhao Yuna would become a joke. Then this girl is quite pitiful. Zheng Qian was silent for a while and said with sympathy, "Zhao Yuna gave birth to a son who was good-looking and a good cook. It would be great if he could marry such a woman as his concubine. Since she could give birth to a son in her first pregnancy, the chances of her giving birth to a son in her second pregnancy should be higher." Li Chuan snorted when he heard Zheng Qian say that Zhao Yuna was pitiful. "Lord Zheng, you're overthinking it. This bitch isn't pitiful at all. She's living a happy life now. It's all because she has the ability to hook up with a rich man." Zheng Qian heard the jealousy in Li Chuan's words, and the corners of his mouth curved up slightly. If this woman wanted to hook up with a rich man because of money, it would be even better. His family was relatively rich. If he gave Zhao Yuna some money, she might be willing to marry him and give birth to a son for him. Li Chuan saw Zheng Qian deep in thought, but didn't know what he was thinking. "Lord Zheng, why are you asking about that bitch?" Zheng Qian smiled. "Nothing." "Sigh, then let's not talk about her anymore. I feel unlucky talking about her." Zheng Qian responded, but his mind was still thinking about Zhao Yun, especially Zhao Yun's impatient and shrewish look, which was different from most women. In the room of the third branch, the family was eating and chatting happily. After chopping the wood today, the next 2 days would be to process the wood into slices or pillars and so on. This was relatively time-consuming. Su Yukai was also a carpenter in addition to helping people do some rough work. Therefore, for this kind of work, there was no need to specially hire a carpenter. Once the wood was processed, they could start laying the foundation. Time flies when you're busy. There was no sign of the current house, but it wouldn't be long before the new house would be built. During dinner, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao inevitably talked to Su Yukai about Zhao Tianan's marriage. Tomorrow, the 2 children would go to Yang City to play and meet at the same time. Su Yaocai's niece and her mother would go to Yang City to do some shopping tomorrow. Upon hearing this, Zhao Tianan's reaction was very fierce. He put the bowl and chopsticks on the table. "Mother, I'm not going." Except for Ma Xiaofeng, he didn't want to look at other girls, let alone marry other girls. Zhao Tianan's sudden awkwardness made the people of the third branch stunned. Usually, Zhao Tianan wasn't like this. He was usually very obedient and had never resisted like this. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao's faces darkened. "Tianyu, father, mother, I'm not going. I don't like this marriage." Chapter 8:27. Liang Jinqiao sighed and said, "Tianan, we're doing this for your own good. This marriage was originally arranged by your parents. We'll definitely find a good girl for you. We won't hurt you." Zhao Tianan was still reluctant. "Mom, I don't want to do this. I don't even know who this girl is, and I don't even know what she looks like. How can I marry her?" "You don't know her, and you'll know when you meet her tomorrow. I didn't say that you have to agree to this marriage. I just want you to see if the girl is suitable for you." Zhao Tianan was silent for a while, then said to Liang Jinqiao, "Mom, I know, But Mom, if I want to marry a wife, I only want to marry someone I like. I don't like the girl. If I marry her, it'll only be a waste of time. Zhao Tianan mustered up the courage to finish his words. If it were any other day, he naturally wouldn't dare to say this. However, when he thought about Ma Xiaofeng and his future happiness, if he didn't say it this time and let his parents make the decision, the chances of him being together with Ma Xiaofeng in the future would be even slimmer. After saying these words, Zhao Tianan lowered his head. He was very nervous and didn't know what his parents would say. Zhao Wenhua was furious with Zhao Tianan. The girl you like? Aren't you talking about Xiaofeng? Tianan, it's not that we don't agree, but if you marry her, will Xiaofeng's mother agree? This marriage is basically arranged by the parents, so your marriage naturally has to be arranged by your mother and me. Zhao Tianan was unconvinced. Dad, you didn't go to Xiaofeng's house to talk about marriage. How do you know she won't agree? Zhao Wenhua was speechless by Zhao Tianan's words. His son had set his sights on Ma Xiaofeng, and only Ma Xiaofeng could marry him. This marriage has to be of equal social status. It's not that father and mother think that Xiaofeng is not good, but with your uncle Yu Kai introducing you, it will definitely be much better than looking for Xiaofeng's family. Tianan, you're still young, and there are many things that you don't know yet. You'll understand in the future. Marriage isn't just about two people who like each other. It depends on many conditions. Zhao Wenhua said earnestly. Like Liang Jinxiao, he didn't want Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng to be together. It wasn't because he didn't like Ma Xiaofeng, but because Ma Xiaofeng's family was special. Ma Xiaofeng was brought up by Chen Chuanxiu, and Chen Chuanxiu was an unreasonable person. Zhao Wenhua was worried that there would be problems in the future if they became in-laws with such a family. When Zhao Tianan heard this, he couldn't help but say, Dad, you're just making excuses. You just don't want me to be with Xiaofeng. According to what you said, the gap between second sister and Shitzi is even bigger. Our family and Shitzi's family are not of equal social status. Does that mean second sister will never be able to marry Shitzi in the future? At this time, Zhao Tianan brought up Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng, which made Zhao Yun a little unhappy. This younger brother of hers was really stupid, and he was getting more and more overboard. He couldn't tell who was good to him, and he still foolishly hoped to be with Ma Xiaofeng. Zhao Yun wanted to slap him a few times to wake him up. Chapter 828. Second Sister. Zhao Tianan was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Zhao Yun to say that. He felt wronged and upset at the same time. Zhao Wenhua responded angrily, It's the parents' orders and the matchmaker's words. Since he's so against it, then we'll just ignore it. I'd like to see if he can really marry Xiaofeng. If he does, then we'll split up. You two can live together. Our family doesn't want to get into any trouble in the future. Zhao Tianan felt very wronged. Why did his parents and sister treat him like this? Was it wrong to be with the person he liked? Why were his parents and second sister so against it and forcing him to? Liang Jinxiao sighed and glanced at Zhao Tianan. Although he felt sorry for his son, he knew that he should be ruthless. Otherwise, Zhao Tianan would stubbornly marry Ma Xiaofeng. Zhao Tianan clenched his fists and suddenly stood up. I must go to Xiaofeng. After saying that, Zhao Tianan rushed out of the house. Liang Jinxiao shook his head, not knowing what to say. Zhao Wenhua snorted angrily. Let him go. Why is this child becoming more and more disobedient as he grows up? Liang Jinxiao sighed. Sigh, it can't be helped. That child has taken a fancy to Xiaofeng. After saying that, he looked at Su Yukai apologetically. Brother Yukai, I'm sorry. You've worked hard to help our family, but my son. Seeing the guilt in Liang Jinxiao's heart, Su Yukai waved his hand and said, It's okay, it's okay. Sigh, children can't be controlled when they grow up. Our son is the same. I'll talk to my brother later and put this marriage matter aside for the time being. Zhao Wenhua said apologetically, Then I'll have to trouble brother Yukai. It's okay. This matter couldn't be blamed on the adults. It was all because the child was immature, so Su Yukai naturally had nothing to say. After the men finished eating, they chatted for a while and then prepared to go up the mountain to chop trees. Mu Lianfeng had something to deal with in the afternoon, so he didn't go. When Zhao Yuna went back with Mu Lianfeng, she found several holes in Mu Lianfeng's clothes. It was probably because he was scratched by a branch when he was chopping down a tree. Originally good clothes, suddenly become like this. Zhao Yuna frowned. Mu Lianfeng, you shouldn't do any rough work in the future. Zhao Yun couldn't help but say. The interest created by this guy was not even worth what he was losing. If he worked a few more times, his clothes would probably be ruined and he would not be able to wear them anymore. Mu Lianfeng was stunned. He raised his eyebrows and asked, "Why? Look at how torn your clothes are." Zhao Yun pointed at the tear on Mu Lianfeng's clothes. Mu Lianfeng looked at it. Indeed, there were big holes on his back and legs. Mu Lianfeng frowned. He didn't even notice it. With such a big hole, he probably couldn't wear his clothes anymore. Then I'll change my clothes. If I work next time, I'll wear these torn clothes, Mu Lianfeng said with a smile on his face. Zhao Yun'er glared at Mu Lianfeng. What a waste. It's not like you can't wear the torn clothes. Take them off and I'll patch them up. Mu Lianfeng was stunned. He had never worn patched clothes before. Chapter 829. Even if the clothes were not damaged at all and could still be worn, he would change them all. For such torn clothes, he would definitely not continue wearing them after patching them up. No matter how thrifty the heir presumptive's residence was, they would never think of saving such a small amount of money on him. There's no need for that, right? It's so troublesome, you'll have to patch it up. I don't know how to patch it up. Mu Lianfeng frowned and asked resentfully. Zhao Yun reprimanded him sternly. Mu Lianfeng, it's shameful to waste money. Do you know that? If you patch up these clothes, they'll definitely be fine and can be worn. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er's angry little face and nodded. All right then, it's been hard on you. Zhao Yun'er waved her hand. It's okay, I'll patch it up for you. When they reached home, Zhao Yun asked Mu Lianfeng to take off his clothes and she took out her needle and thread. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's clothes, there were too many holes and it would not be easy to patch them up. Zhao Yun'er's needlework was also average and not particularly good. After patching up Mu Lianfeng's clothes, Zhao Yun looked at her needlework and it was a terrible sight. Fortunately, she did not look closely. If she did not look closely, she would not discover anything. It seems a little ugly. Zhao Yun muttered and looked at Mu Lianfeng apologetically. Mu Lianfeng's lips curved into a smile. It's okay. Thinking that Zhao Yun had patched it up for him personally, Mu Lianfeng felt that he would wear it no matter how ugly it was. In this lifetime, she had never patched up his clothes. Now it's time to patch up your pants. Take them off. Zhao Yun said very naturally. Mu Lianfeng looked a little embarrassed. Take off my pants? Yeah, if you don't take off your pants, how am I supposed to fix it for you? Mu Lianfeng smiled bitterly. I'll take it off. He was only wearing a pair of bedding pants. If he took off his pants, wouldn't Zhao Yun'er see it? He had never taken off his pants in front of a woman before. Thinking about it, he felt a little shy. Zhao Yun'er did not think of this and urged Mu Lianfeng to take it off quickly. The sooner he took it off, the sooner she could make up for it. Mu Lianfeng dawdled for a while, then awkwardly took off his pants. Yun'er here. Zhao Yun'er took it and looked at Mu Lianfeng. He was so careful. Why did it seem like she was forcing a good girl into prostitution? This guy, did he have to show such an expression? Holding Mu Lianfeng's trousers, Zhao Yun mended them and found that the crotch area was torn. Zhao Yun'er was curious. No matter how powerful this branch was, it shouldn't have torn Mu Lianfeng's crotch, right? It was more troublesome to sew the crotch than an ordinary hole. Zhao Yun'er fiddled with it for a while. As she sewed, she muttered to herself, did I accidentally make this hole or accidentally cause it to explode? After Mu Lianfeng heard Zhao Yun'er's muttering, he looked even more embarrassed. Yun'er, it should have been accidentally cut. Let me see if your bedding pants are torn. If it's torn, I'll mend it for you. With that, Zhao Yun'er's hand went to Mu Lianfeng's crotch to see if there was a hole. It would have been better if she didn't see it. Once she saw it, she was immediately stunned. because her hand fell on a sensitive part of Mu Lianfeng's body. Chapter 830. After Zhao Yun touched something of his, Mu Lianfeng's body seemed to be electrocuted, and his whole body couldn't help but tremble. Zhao Yun looked very embarrassed. She couldn't wait to find a hole to hide in. Of all the things she could touch, she just had to touch Mu Lianfeng's thing below. When Zhao Yun's hand touched it, Mu Lianfeng felt that the thing below had an uncontrollable reaction. Mu Lianfeng felt that his chest was quickly strung together with a ball of fire. Zhao Yun quickly retracted her hand. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." Zhao Yun hurriedly apologized. Mu Lianfeng shook his head, and a helpless smile hung on the corner of his mouth. "It's okay." Zhao Yun's heart slightly tightened. Mu Lianfeng wouldn't be angry, right? Looking at his expression, it seemed that something was wrong. "Mu Lianfeng, are you okay?" Zhao Yun asked carefully. "I'm okay, but what?" Zhao Yun's heart tightened even more. "But Yun, you have to take responsibility for what you did to me." After Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, he pounced over like a hungry wolf and pressed Zhao Yun under his body. Zhao Yun could feel a hard thing in her abdomen. It's over. I must have played with fire just now." Mu Lianfeng couldn't control himself for a while. Men were like this. When they went crazy, they were definitely like beasts. Zhao Yun was pressed down and had no strength to resist. She could only let Mu Lianfeng press on her body. "Mu Lianfeng, don't be impulsive. I'm not ready yet." Thinking about doing that kind of thing, Zhao Yun blushed from the tips of her ears to her neck. "You know I want you." These 3 words floated out of Mu Lianfeng's mouth softly, making Zhao Yun's face even hotter. "What kind of joke is this? This is not funny at all. Mu Lianfeng, what if Daodu comes back? Even if we want to do this, we have to choose a good time, don't you think so? It's broad daylight, there's no mood at all." Zhao nervously stuttered. Hearing what Zhao Yun said, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but smile. What Zhao Yun said made Mu Lianfeng feel that it was very funny. Yun was really cute. Mu Lianfeng was just teasing Zhao Yun. Just as he was about to get up from Zhao Yun's body, Zhao Yun's door was pushed open with a creak. Mu Lan looked at the scene in front of her in surprise. Shi Ziyi was actually pressing on Zhao Yun's body. Then he should be preparing to do that kind of thing. Mu Lan saw this awkward scene and didn't know what to do. She had a feeling that she couldn't advance or retreat. This kind of thing was already embarrassing. Fortunately, Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng didn't take off their clothes. If the 2 of them were doing that kind of thing, it would be even more awkward. Mu Lan thought in her heart, these 2 people are really... Don't they know how to close the door when doing this kind of thing? If the door was closed, she wouldn't have barged in so easily. Fortunately, she had seen it. If someone else had seen it, what would he do? Mu Lan's face also couldn't help but turn red. Mu Lianfeng calmly got up from Zhao Yun's body, as if nothing had happened. Chapter 831. When Zhao Yun's words fell into Le Mulan's ears, it was as if Zhao Yun was complaining that Le Mulan came over and disturbed their mood. No one wanted to be caught doing this kind of thing. Mu Lan pulled her lips awkwardly and said to Zhao Yun, "Why did I come here?" Mu Lan seemed to be in a hurry. She then looked at Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Yun, Zhao Yun, you can continue. I need to go back now." Saying that, Mu Lan turned around and was about to leave Zhao Yun's house. Zhao Yun's face was unusually hot. She glanced at Mu Lianfeng with hidden bitterness, as if she was saying to Mu Lianfeng, "See, it's all because of you that I was misunderstood." Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun with grievance. He didn't know that Mu Lan would suddenly break in. Daoda went out to have fun, so he definitely wouldn't come back for a while. Usually at this time, no one would come to Zhao Yun, so she was more casual. Zhao Yun sighed deeply in her heart. She knew that even if she wanted to explain to Mu Lan wouldn't believe her. Zhao Yun cleared her throat and stopped Mu Lan. She said to Mu Lan, "Mrs. Mu Lan, we didn't do anything wrong. Why you here? Just tell me." Mu Lan's footsteps paused. She turned around and said to Zhao Yun, In fact, it's nothing. I just came to tell you that my family's land has been settled with Li Zheng. Tomorrow I can let heir who go over and level the land. Then we can start building a house. Zhao Yuner nodded. It turned out that Mulan came to talk about this. Okay, then we can build the house as soon as possible. Our families can help each other. Sure. Mulan nodded. If there's nothing else, I'm going back. Mulan only felt embarrassed. It was better for her to leave as soon as possible. Zhao Yuner didn't want Mulan to leave right away. She felt that if Mulan left at this time, she would have an indescribable feeling. Mrs. Mulan, is there nothing else? Why don't you stay for a while and we can chat? Zhao Yuner said embarrassedly. She was confused and didn't know what she was talking about. Mulan glanced at Mu Lianfeng, who was beside Zhao Yuner, and said in a hurry, "We don't have much time to chat on weekdays. I have a lot of work to do at home. I have a lot of things to do." Since Mulan said so, Zhao Yuner didn't say anything. She couldn't stop Mulan from going back, right? I'm going back now. When Mulan left, she glanced at Zhao Yuner ambiguously and reminded her, "Yuner, you have to close the door properly. It won't be good if someone breaks in. Don't you think so?" After that, Mulan left Zhao Yuner's room and closed the door for Zhao Yuner considerately. When Mulan was far away, Zhao Yuner was still standing in her room in a daze. She didn't know what to do for a while. Mulan's meaning was obvious. She must think that something had happened between her and Mu Lianfeng. She felt sorry for her virginity. She couldn't clear her name even if she jumped into the Yellow River. Zhao Yuner glanced at Mu Lianfeng with hidden bitterness, as if she was saying to Mu Lianfeng, "Don't do it again." Mu Lianfeng laughed and nodded. Today was definitely an accident. If he had expected it, it wouldn't have happened. "Okay, Yuner, I promise I won't do it again." Chapter 8:32. The next morning, on the way to Yang City, Mulan couldn't help but get close to Zhao Yuner's ear and start gossiping. "Yuner, what do you think? His Highness is so tall and strong. He must have a good job, right?" Hearing Mulan's question, Zhao Yuner blushed. She glanced at Mulan coquettishly and said to Mulan, "Sis-in-law Mulan, what are you talking about?" Mulan chuckled, "Alright, don't lie to me. It's not like I didn't see what happened yesterday." Zhao Yuner looked at Mulan helplessly. What could she say? What could she explain? No matter what she said, Mulan wouldn't believe her. "Sis-in-law Mulan, it was really a misunderstanding yesterday. His Highness was just teasing me. It didn't happen at all," Zhao Yuner pouted. Mulan chuckled. "Yuner, are you shy in front of me?" Zhao Yuner naturally wouldn't admit to something she didn't do, not to mention this kind of shameful thing. "Sis-in-law Mulan, do you think I'm shy? Do you think I'm shy?" Zhao Yuner said and winked at Mulan. Mulan saw that Zhao Yuner didn't seem to be lying. Thinking of Zhao Yuner's casual conversation with her, Mulan thought that Zhao Yuner was indeed very generous and didn't know how to be shy at all. It seemed that nothing had happened between Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng. However, Mulan was slightly surprised. After thinking for a while, she finally said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, aren't you afraid that His Highness can't control himself? You've already given birth to Daodu and lived with him for such a long time. There's nothing to be shy about." Zhao Yuner didn't know how to respond to Mulan. It's his own business if he can't control himself. "It has nothing to do with me," Zhao Yuner pouted. "Yuner, you can't say that. What if His Highness can't control himself and goes to find other women? His Highness has a lot of women behind him." Mulan deliberately said so to see Zhao Yuner's reaction. She couldn't understand why Zhao Yuner hadn't slept with Mu Lianfeng after such a long time. Since they had decided to be together and had slept together before, it didn't matter if they slept together now. If Zhao Yuner could get pregnant and give birth to a son, the chances of her marrying into His Highness's mansion in the future would be much higher. Zhao Yuner frowned. "Well, if he dares to find other women and can't control himself, I'll divorce him," Zhao Yuner said very casually. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Mulan couldn't help laughing. This was the first time she had heard a woman talk about divorcing a man. She wondered what His Highness would think if he heard it. Ha, His Highness is definitely a good man. Yuner, you must cherish him well. Mu Lan reminded her. I know, sister-in-law Mu Lan. Although the two of them were discussing in a low voice, Mu Hin still heard the content of Zhao Yuner and Mu Lan's conversation. When it came to the topic of men and women, Mu Hin lowered her head and blushed slightly. She, who was inexperienced, felt very shy. Thinking of that, Mu Hin recalled that after she finished washing the dishes last night, she was about to go to the toilet to relieve herself. However, halfway there, she was stopped by her brother-in-law's third brother, Zhu Sanlu. Chapter 8:33. Mu Hin found Zhu Sanlu's smile very creepy, especially his eyes, which were staring at her sneakily, as if he was sizing up his prey. Mu Hin sensed danger. Mu Hin looked at Zhu Sanlu as if he wanted to do something bad to her. After all, she had to obey the family manager's orders in the family manager's heart. She felt that Zhu Sanlu was in danger, but she didn't dare to shout, so she could only avoid him. Mu Hin thought nothing would happen if she ignored Zhu Sanlu and stayed away from him, but she was wrong. Zhu Sanlu wouldn't let her go so easily. Instead, he blocked her way. Mu Hin, where are you going? Zhu Sanlu asked with concern. When Mu Hin saw the smile on Zhu Sanlu's lips and the look in his eyes, she couldn't help but frown. She replied to Zhu Sanlu nervously, I'm going to the latrine pit. Zhu Sanlu raised his chin proudly. Oh, you're going to the latrine pit? Let's go together. I want to go too. Hearing Zhu Sanlu's words, Mu Hin's heart skipped a beat. You're a man and I'm a woman. How can the two of us go to the latrine pit together? If other people knew about it, they would laugh at her. Mu Hin didn't think she would do such a shameful and immoral thing. Zhu Sanlu smiled wretchedly. It's not a big deal. I can go to the latrine pit with my sister-in-law. It's fine even if the two of us go to the latrine pit. The latrine pit in my house can accommodate 2 people. Zhu Sanlu was talking about the time when he went to the latrine pit with Mrs. Qi. Mu Hin's view of the world was suddenly refreshed. How could there be such a strange thing in the world? How could a brother-in-law and sister-in-law go to the latrine pit together? Was this a joke? While Mu Hin was still in shock, Zhu Sanlu had already stepped forward and pulled Mu Hin. He said to Mu Hin, Let's go. Let's go together. When Mu Hin heard this, she was shocked. She didn't want it. If she really squatted down with Zhu Sanlu, wouldn't Zhu Sanlu be able to see all of her lower body? Mu Hin quickly withdrew his hand from Zhu Sanlu's and said to Zhu Sanlu, If you want to go to the latrine, you can go alone. I won't go. Seeing that Mu Hin was about to escape, Zhu Sanlu would not let Mu Hin off so easily. Instead, he stood in front of Mu Hin and pretended to be very concerned. How can you not go to the toilet? If you don't solve it in time, won't you suffocate to death? Mu Hin's face flushed red. I don't feel like doing it anymore. I won't hold it in. Well, if you don't want to go to bed with me, why don't you join me? We can also chat with each other, Sister Mu Hin. Zhu Sanlu said and moved closer to Mu Hin. He wanted to be closer to Mu Hin. Mu Hin wanted to step back, but unfortunately, there was a wall behind her. She had no choice but to let Zhu Sanlu get closer to her. Sister Mu Hin, do you know that you are so beautiful? I liked you when I first saw you. What do you think of me? Zhu Sanlu felt that he was at least good-looking. He was not ugly, and he was also a scholar. After he confessed his love, Mu Hin might agree. At this moment, Mu Hin only felt disgusted. Chapter 8:34. How could she accept such a man? I don't like you. Can you move away? Don't get so close to me, Mu Hin said, biting her lower lip. If it were an ordinary man, she would have shouted. The reason why she gave in to Zhu Sanlu was that she was afraid that her sister and family Zhu would make a scene if she made a scene. She had already caused enough trouble by coming here, and she didn't want to cause more trouble for her sister. Hey Mu Hin, I like you so much. How can you reject me? I don't mean any harm to you. I just want to have a chat with you so that you can get to know me better, Zhu Sanlu said, and started to touch Mu Hin from head to toe. Mu Hin was terrified. She had never been treated like this before. If Zhu Sanlu succeeded, she would let Zhu Sanlu take advantage of her. She was a woman, and she might not be able to beat Zhu Sanlu physically. She could only bite Zhu Sanlu's arm hard. Zhu Sanlu groaned in pain, and Mu Hin took the opportunity to run away. When she arrived at Mu Lan's room, she patted her chest to calm herself down. Although nothing happened in the end, Mu Hin was still traumatized. The Zhu family was indeed a little dangerous. She had to protect herself well. Xiao Mao took them to Yang City. When they got out of the car, Mu Hin came back to her senses and hurried to work with Zhao Yuner and Mu Lan. Seeing Mu Hin in a trance, Mu Lan noticed and asked with concern, "Xin, what's wrong with you? Are you okay?" "I'm fine, sis," Mu Hin replied. "Could it be that he's exhausted?" Lan guessed. Mu Hin hurriedly said, "Sis, I'm really fine. Don't think too much. You don't look well today. I thought something happened to you. Xin, if you feel uncomfortable, remember to tell me." "Sister, I know." Mu Lan smiled and said, "It's good that you know. You must be tired these days. Today, I'll weigh a gene of meat and cook it for you." Mu Hin's eyes lit up at the mention of meat. Usually, when she was in the Mu family, she would only eat meat during the New Year. Even if the Mu family ate meat, there was so much meat in the house that she could only eat one piece at most. Therefore, the taste of meat was quite tempting to her. The gluttonous worm in his stomach kept stirring, and he couldn't wait to eat it. "Sis, is that true?" Looking at Mu Hin's expectant face, Mu Lan's heart ached slightly. The corners of his mouth curled up. "Of course. What's the point of earning money if we don't use it to buy meat? Sis, we still have to build a house. Shouldn't we be more frugal?" "It's fine. It's not like I'm eating it every meal. It's nothing." Mu Exen smiled and nodded. "Okay, sister. Sis, let's eat this meal. Harhua, and the rest still need to grow up. There's no need to be so frugal. We can buy some meat every now and then. With our family's current situation, we can afford to eat it." "Okay." Hearing Mu Lan say that they could eat meat, Mu Hin threw away all her complicated emotions and worked with more energy. Now, she just hoped that she could finish her work early and go back early so that she could eat meat for lunch. Over the next 2 days, Zhao Yunner's wood was almost ready, but Mu Lan's land was still under construction. Chapter 8:35. Their family's life was not very good now. Building a house would cost a lot of money, so they tried to save as much as possible. After all, he had nothing to do. If he worked alone, he would just be busy for a few more days. After Zhao Yun'er's family got the wood, they began to prepare to lay the foundation. When they were laying the foundation, the other bricklayers did not come. Only Zhao Yun'er's eldest uncle and second uncle, Su Yukai, and Guiguizhen came. Zhao Yun'er's family was busy on one side, while Zhu Eru was busy on the other side. In the afternoon, the weather was getting hotter. Mu Lan asked Mu Hin to bring some water to Zhu Eru. When they arrived at the foundation bought by the family Zhu, Mu Hin's clear and sweet voice called out, "Brother-in-law, you must be tired. Drink some water." When Zhu Eru heard Mu Hin's voice, he stopped what he was doing and took a rest. He smiled at Mu Hin and took the water bottle from Mu Hin's hand. He smiled at Mu Hin and said, "Thank you for coming here." Mu Hin shook her head and said, "It's okay, brother-in-law. You worked hard alone. I just ran some errands. It's not tiring." Zhu Eru drank a bowl of cold water, wiped his mouth and said, Xin, you can't say that. You worked hard during the day, and you came back to bring me water." Zhu Eru said it simply, but Mu Hin was touched when she heard it. How could she not be happy when her value was recognized? "Brother-in-law, it's okay. No matter how tired I am, I'm not as tired as you and my sister." You should have a good rest when you go back. You have to take good care of your body." Mu Hin nodded and said, "I know, brother-in-law." As they were talking, Zhao Ping brought water to the men who helped the third branch. This time, Ma Xiaofeng was dragged along by Zhao Ping to accompany her. Ma Xiaofeng was too embarrassed to refuse Zhao Ping so she agreed to come along. He could also take the opportunity to visit Zhao Tianan and interact with Zhao Tianan. "Father, first uncle, second uncle, come and drink some water. I've brought the water for you." Zhao Ping shouted. The men stopped what they were doing and walked towards Zhao Ping. Ping, you've worked hard, Su Yukai said with a smile. Of course it's hard work. I came all the way here to bring you water. Zhao Ping pursed her lips. She seemed a little unhappy and unwilling. The corner of Su Yotsai's mouth twitched. He didn't know what to say for a moment. If a normal person had praised him like this, their reaction would not have been the same as Zhao Pinger's. Of course, Su Yukai didn't know what kind of person Zhao Yun was. Zhao Wenhua glared at Zhao Pinger and said, "How can you say that? You're already so old. Don't you know how to speak properly?" Zhao Ping pursed her lips. She seemed to disagree very much. "Father, I didn't say anything wrong. I came all the way here to bring you water. I'm so tired." Zhao Wenhua's mouth twitched. He glared at Zhao Pinger and said, "You haven't done much work yet and you're already saying that you're tired. If I let you do more work, won't you be exhausted to death?" "Father, how can you be like this? I came all the way here to bring you water, and you're actually saying that about me. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have brought it to you." Zhao Ping stomped her feet angrily. Chapter 8:36. That's enough, Brother Wenhua. It's not easy for Ping to come all the way here to deliver the water. Don't scold her. Zhao Wenhua sighed. He thought about it and agreed. Forget it. If this girl continued to pursue the matter, she would be angered to death. Anyway, it wasn't the first time Zhao Ping had acted like this. "Ping, you can go back after delivering the water." Zhao Wenhua calmed himself down and said to Zhao Ping, as the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. Since she couldn't see Zhao Ping, she naturally didn't feel anything. Zhao Ping was a little unhappy when she saw Zhao Wenhua's disdainful expression. "Father, I worked so hard to come all the way here, and you actually want me to go back? You're too mean." Zhao Wenhua frowned when he saw Zhao Ping panting with anger. He only felt a headache coming on. Who knew what was in this girl's head? She kept saying these strange things. "If you don't go back, what are you doing here? The sun is so hot, and it's uncomfortable." Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, "Father, why do you care? Anyway, I'm just here for a while. Why don't you let Tianan rest and chat with us?" Zhao Wenhua wasn't a fool. When he saw Ma Xiaofeng behind Zhao Ping, he knew that Zhao Ping was definitely trying to make Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng work together. Hence, he frowned and said, "We still have work to do. Why are you here to chat? Why are you delaying our work?" Upon hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, Zhao Ping was instantly unhappy. "Father, just do your work. I'm not delaying you. Tianan is still so young. Can't you let him rest for a while? You're so heartless." When Zhao Ping said that, Zhao Wenhua blushed. All right. Just rest on Tianan," Zhao Wenhua said in a fit of pique. Thinking about it, it was useless for him to interfere. This time, Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng did not stay together for a while. Later, they would definitely find time to make up for it. Since that was the case, he might as well not waste the effort to stop them. Father, that's right. Go and do your work. Tianan, come here." Zhao Ping said and waved at Zhao Tianan. As soon as Zhao Tianan saw Ma Xiaofeng, he was extremely shy. He lowered his head, but his ears were red. "Big sister?" Zhao Tianan shyly called out to Zhao Ping. "Ah, Tianan, why are you so restrained? Come here. Don't stand so far away," Zhao Ping called out to him. After Zhao Ping said that, Zhao Tianan shyly walked over. However, he still did not dare to raise his head to look in the direction of Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng. Zhao Ping could not help but tease him. "Tianan, why are you so shy? Really? If you're so shy now, when you're with Xiaofeng in the future, will you not even dare to hold her hand? Not even dare to kiss her lips?" After Zhao Ping said that, Zhao Tianan lowered his head even more. "Big sister, what are you talking about? Thinking about holding hands and kissing Ma Xiaofeng?" Zhao Tianan's heart thumped nervously. Not to mention holding hands, even if he got close to Ma Xiaofeng and leaned against her, he would be embarrassed. However, his sister did not know what he was thinking. She probably thought that he was thick-skinned and did not know how to be shy. Zhao Ping'er's words also made Ma Xiaofeng feel a burst of embarrassment. How could she say it so bluntly? Only Zhao Ping'er dared to say it so carelessly. If others heard it, they would probably be laughed at and scolded. Chapter 8:37. Big Sister? Zhao Tianan pouted coquettishly like a little girl. He looked at Zhao Ping'er with a hint of resentment in his eyes. Seeing Zhao Tianan's little red face, Zhao Ping'er realized that her little brother was shy. Zhao Ping'er couldn't help but laugh. "Ha, Tianan, this is really nothing. It's just holding hands and kissing. What's there to be embarrassed about? When you and Xiaofeng get married, you'll still have to do that in bed. You're so shy. How are you going to do that with Xiaofeng in the future? You'll probably run away shyly with your pants before you even take them off, right? Big sister." Zhao Tianan only felt that at this moment, he really wanted to find a place to hide. Being teased by Zhao Ping'er like this, most people wouldn't be able to stand it. Ma Xiaofeng tugged at Zhao Ping'er's sleeve and said to Zhao Ping'er, "Big sister Ping'er, I think you should stop talking. Tianan is thin-skinned and gets shy easily." Ma Xiaofeng's words sounded like she was defending Zhao Tianan and helping Zhao Tianan out of his predicament. So when Zhao Tianan heard this, he was very touched. Xiaofeng was still the best. She always thought of him first in everything she did, unlike many people who didn't consider his feelings at all. He had a shy and dull personality, so he didn't stand out among many people. There were very few people who cared about him. The more Zhao Tianan thought about it, the more determined he was to be with Ma Xiaofeng. Only when he was with her did he feel that he was cared for. When Ma Xiaofeng said this, Zhao Ping'er chuckled and said, okay. I won't talk about Tianan anymore, okay? Sigh, now that the two of you are wearing the same pants, you've learned to defend each other." As Zhao Ping'er said this, she turned to Zhao Tianan and said, "Tianan, I finally called Xiaofeng over and created an opportunity for you. You should chat with Xiaofeng a little more and seize the opportunity." Zhao Tianan responded shyly and thanked Zhao Ping'er while he was at it. "Big sister, thank you. You're the only one in the family who supports me." When he thought of this, Zhao Tianan's heart ached. In fact, the person he liked and admired the most in the family was Zhao Yun. He didn't care about his own parents, but what Zhao Tianan wanted the most was Zhao Yun's consent. He hoped that Zhao Yun wouldn't object to him and Ma Xiaofeng being together. Unfortunately, in the end, except for his big sister, no one else agreed. He didn't know what to do. Just as he was lost in thought, Zhao Ping'er pushed Zhao Tianan and pushed Zhao Tianan in front of Ma Xiaofeng. At this time, Mu Hin, who had finished delivering the water, was ready to go back. When Mu Hin passed by Zhao Yun's land, Zhao Ping'er saw him. When Zhao Ping'er saw Mu Hin, she was a little angry. Zhao Yun knew that *teach didn't let her go to the town to help. Instead, she invited Mu Hin, an outsider, over. Zhao Ping'er blamed Mu Hin for not being able to go to the stall to help make money. If Mu Hin didn't go to help, Zhao Yun's stall would definitely not have enough manpower. When Zhao Yun was too busy, she would naturally regret firing her. Then she would definitely ask her to go over to help again. Unexpectedly, Mu Hin suddenly jumped out. With Mu Hin's help, Zhao Yun didn't need her. When Mu Hin walked in front of Zhao Ping'er deliberately stretched out her foot. Mu Hin didn't notice and tripped. He couldn't help but fall forward. Chapter 8:38. Mu Hin let out a pitiful cry and fell to the ground. A large piece of the skin on her hand was scraped off. She knelt heavily on the ground and could not get up. After Mu Hin fell, she realized that someone had tripped her. She looked at Zhao Ping'er with some resentment. She and Zhao Ping'er had no grudge against each other. Why did Zhao Ping'er trip her out of the blue? She looked up and met Zhao Ping'er's eyes. Zhao Ping'er had her hands on her hips and looked very arrogant. "Why did you trip me out of the blue?" Mu Hin suppressed the anger in her heart and asked Zhao Ping'er. Her legs hurt so much from the fall that she could not get up for a while. She was still in a kneeling position on the ground. Xiaoping smirked proudly and said to Mu Hin, so what if I tripped you? What can you do to me? Mu Hin bit her lower lip and asked, how did I offend you? Xiao laughed and said, you didn't offend me in any way. I just don't like the look of you. Besides the fact that Mu Hin's appearance prevented her from helping Zhao Yun earn money at her stall, Mu Hin's pitiful appearance and harmless little face made Zhao Ping a little jealous. Why was it that every random person was prettier than her? Zhao Ping now had a feeling of disgust towards good-looking people. She wished that all women were uglier than her. Unfortunately, Zhao Ping had not found many who were uglier than her. Thinking of this, Zhao Ping felt very stifled. Mu Hin glared angrily at Zhao Ping and said, You're too much. I'm going overboard. What can you do to me? Who asked you to be in cahoots with that little bitch Zhao Yun? You. Mu Hin had never seen someone as shameless as Zhao Ping. What kind of person was this? Wasn't this too unreasonable? She didn't offend her, so what right did she have to vent her anger on her for no reason? Now that they were in someone else's village, and Zhao Ping was Zhao Yun's older sister, how could she blame Zhao Ping? Could it be that she had deliberately quarreled with Zhao Ping? She couldn't do such a thing. Seeing that Mu Hin could only swallow her grievances, Zhao Ping could not help but boast, Humph, you'd better not let me see you in the future. Every time I see you, I'll bully you. Mu Hin bit her lower lip. This woman was too much. You're too much of a bully. Mu Hin jumped out of her mouth. Her voice was a little weak and did not have much momentum. Compared to Zhao Ping's arrogant and domineering attitude, it did not have any deterrence at all. Bully? Humph, I'll bully you, I'll bully you. Zhao Ping deliberately poked Mu Hin's forehead with her finger as she spoke. You, eldest sister? Zhao Tianan could not stand it anymore. Seeing that Mu Hin was really pitiful on the ground, he could not help but step forward and look at Zhao Ping. What's wrong? Zhao Ping casually replied. Second sister, forget it. I think she's quite pitiful. She didn't do anything. Why are you bullying her? Seeing that Zhao Tianan was muttering this, Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, I'm bullying her. Tianan, why are you defending her? You don't have to feel sorry for other women. You just have to feel sorry for Xiaofeng. Zhao Tianan sighed. He was not feeling sorry for her, but he felt that Mu Hin was really quite pitiful. Chapter 839. Big sis? Don't be so unreasonable, okay? I didn't offend you. Zhao Tianan couldn't help but say. Zhao Ping smirked and said to Zhao Tianan, Tianan, how dare you say I'm unreasonable? You're too heartless. Don't you know who usually helps you in Xiaofeng? As Zhao Ping spoke, she waited for Zhao Tianan. Zhao Tianan felt extremely wronged. Didn't he just tell the truth? How could he be associated with being heartless? He couldn't be considered heartless, right? Big sis? I know you've helped me a lot, but bullying others is a different thing. Zhao Tianan muttered in a low voice. He glanced at Mu Hin, who had yet to get up from the ground. He thought to himself that a girl like her must be in great pain from the fall. No matter what, it was wrong of his sister to bully others like this. Tianan, don't say any more. If I say you're heartless, then you're heartless. Zhao Ping didn't like it when others talked about what she did, especially when Zhao Tianan jumped out to accuse her of being in the wrong. Zhao Ping angrily pulled Ma Xiaofeng's hand and said to Zhao Tianan, I'm not going to talk to you, heartless person. Xiaofeng, let's go. With that, Zhao Ping pulled Ma Xiaofeng and turned to leave. Zhao Tianan stared blankly. What was his sister doing? Was she angry with him? However, Zhao Tianan felt that he didn't do anything wrong. All he did was say a few words when his sister was being unreasonable and bullying others. So what now? Ma Xiaofeng was pulled away by Zhao Ping. She looked at Zhao Tianan a little anxiously. Zhao Ping, this woman, was crazy. Sigh. Zhao Tianan watched as Zhao Ping dragged Ma Xiaofeng far away. He could only sigh and shake his head. When would this big sister of his be a little more reasonable? Now that Ma Xiaofeng had left with Zhao Ping, he could only go back to work. Fortunately, he still had many opportunities to see Ma Xiaofeng. Otherwise, he would probably be anxious to death. Zhao Tianen glanced at Mu Hin, who was lying on the ground, with sympathy in his eyes. He walked over to Mu Hin and helped Mu Hin up from the ground. Are you all right? What do you think? Does it hurt a lot? Mu Hin did not know his own condition. The skin on his hand was torn when he placed it on the ground. There was even a thin layer of skin on his hand that was stained with blood. As for her legs, the pain in her knees was so intense that she could not stand up for a while. She could only continue to kneel on the ground. After Mu Hin stood up with great difficulty, she could not straighten her legs. Her whole body swayed. She bit her lower lip and endured the pain. She said to Zhao Tianen, "I'm fine." Zhao Tianen took a deep look at Mu Hin. She was clearly injured so badly, but she said that she was fine. He guessed that she did not want others to worry about her. Zhao Tianen felt that Zhao Ping was his sister, and that she came over because she brought Ma Xiaofeng to him. Zhao Ping bullied Mu Hin, so he had to take responsibility. He hurriedly supported Mu Hin and said, "How can you be fine? Look at your palm, it's broken and bleeding. Your clothes on your knees are also torn. The skin inside must have been torn. Why don't you pull up your pants and see how it is?" Zhao Tianan's tone was full of concern. When he got closer to Mu Hin, he smelled the faint fragrance on Mu Hin's body. It smelled very good, and it was somewhat similar to Ma Xiaofeng's. Chapter 840. He didn't expect that all women smelled so good. He thought that only Ma Xiaofeng smelled so good. While supporting Mu Hin, Zhao Tianen felt that the girl's body was soft and comfortable to touch. Mu Hin responded and let Zhao Tianen support her to sit on a big rock. Normally, she would be embarrassed to be so close to a boy. However, today was a special situation, so she didn't think too much about it. After sitting down, Mu Hin first looked at her palm. Such a large piece of skin was scraped off. It would be a long time before her palm touched water. In such a situation, it would be painful if it touched water. As for her knees, her clothes were already torn. Now that her knees were torn, she had to patch them up. Her pants were even uglier. Mu Hin sighed slightly in her heart. Why was she so unlucky? Why did Zhao Ping pick on her? What should she do if she continued to treat her like this in the future? Let's see how your leg is. Zhao Tianen said. He was worried about Mu Hin's condition. The more serious Mu Hin's injury was, the more overboard his sister was. As a younger brother, he should be more responsible. Mu Hin responded bitterly. In fact, a woman's leg couldn't be easily seen by a man. Men and women were different. Not to mention the leg, even the foot or the arm couldn't be exposed. Otherwise, it would be immoral. Mu Hin rolled up his pants from his ankle to expose his knee. A large piece of his knee was scraped off and stained with blood. Some of the flesh inside was flipped out, and some stones were stuck on it. Zhao Tianen didn't expect Mu Hin to be injured so badly. No wonder he couldn't get up and walk steadily. It must be painful to be injured like this. Well, Zhao Tianen sighed, then apologized to Mu Hin. "I'm sorry. I apologize to you on behalf of my sister. She crossed the line." Mu Hin looked at the boy's apologetic eyes and shook his head. "It's none of your business. It was Zhao Ping who did it." She couldn't vent her anger on Zhao Tianen. Even if Zhao Tianen apologized for Zhao Ping, she still wouldn't forgive Zhao Ping. No one would be so magnanimous to forgive others so easily after being bullied for nothing. "You rest first. I'll go and find some herbs for you. Apply the herbal concoction and you should feel much better." Zhao Tianen remembered that he had seen the herbal medicine Zhao Yuner had made at the foot of the mountain. It should be easier to find it. "You don't have to go through so much trouble." Mu Hin seemed a little embarrassed. "It's no trouble at all. I'll be back soon. Sit down and wait for me for a while," Zhao Tianen said to Mu Hin. Before Mu Hin could say anything, Zhao Tianen ran away. Looking at Zhao Tianan's back, Mu Hin had a strange feeling in her heart. It was the first time that someone cared about her like this. Although it was because Zhao Ping bullied her first, Zhao Tianen cared about her after all. After a while, Zhao Tianen came back with the herbs. There was a layer of sweat on his forehead, probably because he ran too fast. Chapter 841. Zhao Tianan squeezed out the juice from the herbs, then applied it on Mu Hin's knees. After the medicine was applied, there was a burning pain at first, but later, the pain became much better. The effect of the medicine was quite good. Mu Xen lowered her head and looked at Zhao Tianan. She found that Zhao Tianan was very serious when he applied the medicine. At the same time, he was very careful. He was afraid of hurting Mu Xen. Looking at Zhao Tianan's serious face, Mu Hin was a little absent-minded for a moment. After Zhao Tianan finished applying the medicine, he raised his head and met Mu Hin's eyes. The two looked at each other, and both of them seemed a little embarrassed. Zhao Tianan was shy and didn't want to have contact with girls. Now that Mu Hin was staring at him like this, his ears suddenly turned red. "It's done," Zhao Tianan said weakly. Mu Hin came back to his senses, and his cheeks were also dyed with a layer of red. "Thank you," Mu Hin said weakly. "It's nothing." Zhao Tianan shook his head. Mu Hin pulled down his pants. When he was about to stand up and go back, Zhao Tianan also stood up. "I'll walk you back." Mu Hin's condition was really worrying. What if Mu Hin accidentally fell down when he walked back? "Will it be too much trouble for you?" Mu Hin asked nervously. "It's okay. I'm not busy actually," Zhao Tianan replied. "Well, thank you anyway." "You're welcome." Zhao Tianan shook his head. After all, it was all because of Zhao Ping. If Zhao Ping hadn't pushed him down, Mu Hin wouldn't have been like this. "Let's go," Zhao Tianan said and helped Mu Hin. Mu Hin walked unsteadily. After all, he had fallen down so hard. "Be careful. Slow down." "Don't worry," Zhao Tianan said with concern. "Okay," Mu Hin answered bitterly. Zhao Tianan's concerned voice warmed Mu Hin's heart. No boy had ever talked to her like this before. His heart was filled with nervousness and a trace of excitement. On the way, Zhao Tianan asked and found out that Mu Hin was Mu Lan's younger sister. Zhao Tianan knew that Zhao Yun and Mu Lan were close friends, so he was more concerned about Mu Hin. On the way back, Ma Xiaofeng finally got rid of Zhao Ping. When she was about to talk to Zhao Tianan and continue to cultivate their relationship, she saw Zhao Tianan supporting a girl intimately. This girl was the one who had been pushed down by Zhao Ping. Tianan, do. Ma Xiaofeng was a little angry and jealous. She looked at Mu Hin, who was beside Zhao Tianan. Except for her, how could he be so intimate and flirtatious with other girls? Xiaofeng? Zhao Tianan didn't expect that Ma Xiaofeng would suddenly come back. At this time, he and Mu Hin were indeed flirtatious, which made people misunderstand. When he was about to explain, Ma Xiaofeng glared at Zhao Tianan and said to Zhao Tianan, "You've gone too far. I won't talk to you anymore." After that, Ma Xiaofeng ran away. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng run away because of the misunderstanding, Zhao Tianan was very anxious. When he wanted to chase after Ma Xiaofeng to explain, Mu Hin fell to the ground uncontrollably as soon as he let go of Mu Hin. Zhao Tianan hurriedly pulled Mu Hin. If he didn't support Mu Hin, she would fall. He couldn't let Mu Hin go like this. Chapter 842. Zhao Tianan hesitated for a while, but finally decided to help Mu Hin. After all, Mu Hin was injured because of Zhao Ping. Moreover, Ma Xiaofeng should be angry right now. Ma Xiaofeng might not be able to listen to what he said. It was better to wait for Ma Xiaofeng's anger to subside before he explained to her. Mu Hin saw the disappointment in Zhao Tianan's eyes and Ma Xiaofeng's reaction. She knew that the two of them were like a couple who had quarreled. After realizing that Zhao Tianan liked Ma Xiaofeng, Mu Hin felt a little disappointed. She didn't know why she felt like this. "Why don't you not send me home? Do you want to explain?" Mu Hin asked cautiously. Zhao Tianan glanced at Mu Hin and smiled bitterly. "It's okay. I'll send you home first." Mu Hin sighed slightly and replied, "Okay then." Because Zhao Tianan helped her, Ma Xiaofeng misunderstood. Mu Hin felt a little guilty. She didn't want Zhao Tianan to be upset because of her mood. Zhao Tianan insisted on not explaining to Ma Xiaofeng. As an outsider, she didn't want to say anything. "Let's go," Zhao Tianan said. When he sent Mu Hin home, he was deep in thought. No one knew what he was thinking. Seeing Zhao Tianan like this, Mu Hin felt very uncomfortable and didn't know what to say to comfort him. When they arrived at Family Zhu's courtyard, Mu Hin said to Zhao Tianan gratefully, "Thank you for sending me home." The young girl's voice was pleasing to the ear, like a clear spring flowing through one's heart, making one feel very comfortable. Zhao Tianan raised his head and looked at Mu Hin's delicate face. "You're welcome." She then turned around nervously and said, I'm leaving now." Mu Hin responded with a smile. Seeing Zhao Tianan's back as he hurriedly fled, a trace of melancholy crossed his heart. She stared blankly for a while, then turned around and prepared to return to Mu Lan's room. After she left, Mu Lan went to Zhao Yun'er's house. At this time, she was not at the family room. As soon as she turned around, she saw a figure suddenly appear in front of her, sticking very close to her from behind. Mu Hin took a step back in fear. The person who stuck close to her and looked at her cheekily was Zhu Sanlu. A look of disgust flashed across Mu Hin's eyes. He felt like vomiting when he saw Zhu Sanlu. Why was this man standing behind her for no reason? It was fine if Mu Hin did not step back, but because her leg was injured, she could not stand steadily and almost fell down again. Mu Hin screamed. Zhu Sanlu hurriedly pulled Mu Hin, and Mu Hin steadied herself. "Hee, Sister Mu Hin, are you okay? Be careful, don't be too anxious. Don't you think so?" As Zhu Sanlu spoke, he deliberately reached out his other hand and touched the back of Mu Hin's hand. He smiled wretchedly and said, "Ah, Sister Mu Hin, your hand is so soft, smooth and tender." Mu Hin frowned deeper and hurriedly tried to withdraw her hand. But Zhu Sanlu's strength was stronger than hers. Mu Hin could not pull her hand out of Zhu Sanlu's hand. "You let go of me." Mu Hin bit her lower lip and said to Zhu Sanlu angrily. There was a look of grievance and disgust between her eyebrows. Chapter 843. "You're shameless." Mu Hin's face was red with anger. However, in Zhu Sanlu's eyes, Mu Hin's angry and shy look was exceptionally cute. "Sister Mu Hin, how can you say that? How am I shameless? I'm just concerned about you. Do you know that?" Zhu Sanlu still said with a lewd smile. "I don't need your concern. Let me go." Mu Hin glared at Zhu Sanlu and said angrily. However, she had already tried her best to lower her voice. There was no one else in the yard except Zhu Sanlu. Her older sister had left and was not at home. No one came to help her. Mrs. Zhu and Family Zhu's family were all resting in their own rooms. It was precisely because of this that Zhu Sanlu was not afraid of his own actions. Once Mu Hin's voice was too loud, it would definitely attract the attention of the other members of Family Zhu. Seeing Mu Hin struggling in front of him and the disgust in Mu Hin's eyes, Zhu Sanlu was not in a good mood. Men had their own self-esteem and hoped that women would succumb to them. In addition, Zhu Sanlu's lower part could not be used anymore. Zhu Sanlu's heart was already a little twisted and perverted. He stared coldly at Mu Hin, then a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He said to Mu Hin, "All right, stop pretending in front of me. Don't pretend to be pure. Since you're so chaste, why did you get so close to another man just now? I saw it all." The other man Zhu Sanlu was talking about was Zhao Tianan. Mu Hin's face darkened. She said to Zhu Sanlu angrily, "That's because I was injured, so he sent me back. Don't make it sound too dirty." How could Zhu Sanlu listen to Mu Hin's explanation? He laughed mockingly again. Since you're injured, let me help you. Don't refuse." Saying that, Zhu Sanlu shamelessly moved closer to Mu Hin and directly held Mu Hin in his arms. Go away, you pervert." Mu Hin screamed. She had never been hugged by a man in her life. In her eyes, Zhu Sanlu's behavior was no different from a hooligan. Zhu Sanlu did not let her go. Instead, he said sarcastically, "What? Others can do this, but I can't? In the end, you're different people. Little sister Mu Exin, I'm not worse than that brat Zhao Tianan. He can't even read a word. I'm still a scholar." How could Mu Exin care whether Zhu Sanlu's conditions were good or bad? Even if he was the emperor, she would not like such a wretched and perverted person. I don't like you. Stay away from me. Don't hug me or I'll call for help. Mu Hin warned. Call for help? Ha, aren't you afraid of being seen? Your sister and brother-in-law are not here. Who can help you? Mu Hin bit her lower lip. She knew that Zhu Sanlu was telling the truth. They were all family Zhu's people. If she called for the family Zhu's people, the family Zhu would only help Zhu Sanlu and not her. If they disturbed the neighbors and they came out to see such a scene, there might be some misunderstanding. If rumors about her spread, it would be even worse. After Mu Hin stopped making noise, Zhu Sanlu smirked proudly. He was moved to tears by his own wit. Chapter 844. When Zhu Sanlu was feeling proud of himself, he heard Mu Hin sobbing in a low voice. What do I have to do to make you let me go? She was powerless to resist, but she didn't want to be bullied and trampled on like this. At this moment, she only felt extremely wronged. Ah, Mu Hin, how can you say that? How can I let you go? Zhu Sanlu said and pinched Mu Hin's butt. It felt very soft and he was secretly satisfied. Ah! Mu Hin screamed again without warning. She didn't expect Zhu Sanlu to be so shameless. She gave him an inch and he wanted a mile. It was too much. The noise made by the two of them alarmed the family Zhu's people. Mu Lan's children also heard the noise outside the house, and they all craned their heads to look outside. After seeing Zhu Sanlu, Erhua was so scared that she hurriedly shrank back. She was already traumatized by Zhu Sanlu, so she didn't dare to go out and get close to Zhu Sanlu. Mu Lan's eldest daughter, Dehua, also didn't dare to move. She knew that her uncle was very scary and could eat people. Otherwise, Erhua wouldn't be so scared. Previously, her mother had warned her to keep a distance from her uncle and not to get close to him. She had kept her mother's words in mind. Only San Er rushed out alone. He was a man, and he had to protect his aunt. He couldn't let his uncle bully her. San Er came to Zhu Sanlu angrily and shouted at Zhu Sanlu, "Uncle, hurry up and let go of my aunt." Zhu Sanlu glanced at the angry San Er. He was just a little kid, so he wouldn't take him seriously. You won't let go of your aunt, so what? How dare you talk to your uncle like that? Don't you know how to respect your elders? What did your parents teach you? You don't know any etiquette at all. San Er's little eyebrows twisted together. Her little face was full of anger as she stared at Zhu Sanlu. His uncle was too much. He bullied his aunt and was still so arrogant. Wasn't it just because his parents weren't at home? San Er's eyes suddenly became sharp. Since this was the case, then don't blame him for being impolite. He had to protect his aunt. San Er took out a slingshot from her pocket, grabbed a stone, and shot it at Zhu Sanlu's face. The stone was hard, and the force of the slingshot was very strong, so when the stone hit Zhu Sanlu's face, Zhu Sanlu screamed in pain. Zhu Sanlu touched his face. Fortunately, it wasn't bleeding. Otherwise, what if it left a scar? Zhu Sanlu looked at San Er and let go of Mu Hin. He was ready to teach San Er a lesson. This little bastard actually dared to make a move on him. He was really courting death. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu was about to attack San Er, Mu Hin suddenly became anxious and quickly pulled Zhu Sanlu back. Don't lay your hands on a child. That's too much. Zhu Sanlu coldly snorted, What's wrong? What's wrong with me teaching my nephew a lesson? This little bastard dared to lay his hands on his elders. How can I not teach him a lesson? With that, Zhu Sanlu's cold eyes stared at San Er again. This little bastard, if his parents don't teach him a lesson, I'll come here to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he won't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Mu Hin was speechless for a while. What kind of person was this? Chapter 845. Moreover, even if San Er had no reason to fight, he was just a child. How could he be so calculative towards a child? It was really enough. Let San Er go. Children are not sensible. Mu Hin pulled Zhu Sanlu and said, if Zhu Sanlu really started to fight, he was an adult. It was more than enough to deal with a child. What if San Er was hurt by Zhu Sanlu? So what if he's not sensible? This kid almost ruined my face. If I don't teach this stinky kid a lesson, he won't know how arrogant he is. Zhu Sanlu meant that he didn't intend to let San Er go easily. Mu Hin could only worry in her heart. What should she do? She was afraid that Zhu Sanlu, this pervert, would be very ruthless when he hit people. What if San Er was hurt by Zhu Sanlu? San Er was also a stubborn child. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu was going to hit him, he wasn't afraid at all. He raised his angry little face and said to Zhu Sanlu, "I'm not afraid of you." Zhu Sanlu was even more angry. "Well, I want to see how you can be so rampant." After that, Zhu Sanlu picked up a wooden stick from the side and was ready to beat San Er. Before the stick in his hand fell on San Er's body, San Er had already taken out a stone from her pocket. She raised her slingshot and continued to shoot at Zhu Sanlu's face. This time, Zhu Sanlu was in so much pain that he gritted his teeth. "You kid, you're really overturning the sky." Zhu Sanlu's eyes were burning with a raging fire. San Er had completely angered Zhu Sanlu this time. If he didn't teach San Er a lesson, Zhu Sanlu wouldn't be able to swallow the anger in his heart. Mu Hin knew that Zhu Sanlu would definitely hit hard. She hurriedly said to San Er, run and find your father. San Er's little brows were still knitted together. He could run away, but his uncle would definitely bully his aunt, so he couldn't leave. "Aunt, it's okay. I'm not afraid of him. If he dares to hit me again, I'll continue to hit him with the slingshot." Mu Hin's heart was still tense. If Zhu Sanlu rushed over and snatched the slingshot from San Er's hand, how would San Er deal with Zhu Sanlu? He was no match for Zhu Sanlu. Unfortunately, San Er was very stubborn. Mu Hin found that he couldn't persuade her at all. "Overturn the heavens, overturn the heavens." Zhu Sanlu muttered angrily. San Er continued to aim at Zhu Sanlu with the slingshot. There was a feeling of mutual hostility between the two of them. After Zhu Sanlu took a step, the slingshot in San Er's hand directly shot out. This time, it hit Zhu Sanlu's knee. "Ah!" Zhu Sanlu screamed. He was actually bullied by a child. How shameful! Mrs. Zhu and family Zhu's family all came out. Seeing San Er holding the slingshot in her hand and pointing it at Zhu Sanlu cried out in pain. 2 red marks were left on his face. Old Madame Zhu suddenly got angry and said to San Er, "Little beast, your father and mother really spoiled you. You even dare to hit your uncle. When your father comes back, I'll ask him to break your legs." As Mrs. Zhu spoke, she went to Zhu Sanlu and looked at Zhu Sanlu with great distress. She asked Zhu Sanlu with concern, "How are you? Are you okay? Does it hurt? Mother will blow for you." Chapter 846. Her blow made Zhu Sanlu feel disgusted. Zhu Sanlu felt nauseous and said to Mrs. Zhu angrily, "Mom, what are you doing?" "Stinks. Don't blow on me." "Stinks. I'm about to throw up because of you." Zhu Sanlu complained like this. Old Madame Zhu showed a trace of embarrassment. She said to Zhu Sanlu with some embarrassment, I'm just concerned about you. Your face looks badly injured, so I'll blow on it to make you feel better." Zhu Sanlu glanced at Mrs. Zhu with disgust. "Mom, how can I feel better? I'm about to throw up because of you." "Well," Mrs. Zhu twitched the corner of her mouth awkwardly. Was the smell in her mouth that bad? Mrs. Zhu covered her mouth with her hand and blew on it. She smelled it and it was indeed a little smelly. Alas, it seemed that she had to brush her teeth properly. She hadn't brushed her teeth for several days. It was not that she didn't want to brush her teeth, but she had to pick willow branches to brush her teeth. In addition, brushing her teeth required salt. She couldn't bear to use so much salt. After all, salt was expensive. "Mom, next time, keep your mouth away from mine." "Really?" Zhu Sanlu complained. Zhu Laotian hurriedly responded, Yes, I know." But Zhu Sanlu responded faintly. "It's all that little bastard's fault. He hit you." Mrs. Zhu turned her eyes to San Er again. Mrs. Zhu had always been fierce to her grandchildren, So the children in the family were very afraid of Mrs. Zhu. Facing Mrs. Zhu's murderous eyes, San-Er was a little scared. After her legs trembled, San-Er gathered her courage and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Grandma, it's not wrong that I hit my uncle. He bullied my aunt." "Well, little bastard, you dare to talk back? You're quite arrogant. It seems that your parents didn't teach you well." "Grandma, you can't be unreasonable. How can my uncle bully my aunt? My uncle bullied my aunt, so he deserved a beating. Even if my parents come back, they won't say that I'm wrong." San-Er pouted and said angrily. She really couldn't hold back the grievance in her heart. "When did your uncle bully your aunt?" "You little bastard, explain it to me clearly," old Madame Zhu asked angrily. "Uncle insisted on hugging my aunt. He touched my auntie," San-Er replied. Although he was a child, he knew a lot of things. If a man hugged a woman like that, if the woman didn't want to, it would be bullying her. Mrs. Zhu was stunned, and her gaze fell on Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Sanlu curled his lips and said aggrievedly, "Mother, don't believe what this brat said. I didn't. It was Mu Hin who seduced me and pulled me. When did I touch her?" Mrs. Zhu had a look of understanding. She naturally believed her own son. How could she believe a child's words? Mrs. Zhu snorted coldly, and her sharp eyes fell on Mu Hin. She sneered at Mu Hin. "It must be you, little bastard, who wanted to seduce our Lu. Don't you know who you are? Do you think you're good enough for our Lu?" Our Lu is a scholar. In the future, he will become an official and marry a lady from a big family. Chapter 847. You've gone too far. Mu Hin pointed at Zhu Sanlu. "You're the one who kept pestering me. How could you say such shameless words?" The more Mu Hin thought about it, the angrier she got. Wasn't this tarnishing her reputation? She was fine with that, but the main point was that Mrs. Zhu even humiliated her like that. How could she be human? She was simply a rogue. She originally didn't want to provoke the family Zhu, but unfortunately, the family Zhu still stuck to her like a dog's skin plaster. Mrs. Zhu put her hands on her waist, raised her head, and said to Mu Hin, "Why would my son pester you? You should have some self-awareness, okay? Don't you know how beautiful you are? At such a young age, instead of learning the good things, you've learned how to lie and seduce people." Mrs. Zhu's words became more and more unpleasant, like a needle deeply piercing into Mu Hin's heart. Mu Hin lowered her head, suppressed the anger and unwillingness in her heart, and bit her lower lip hard. At this moment, she only felt very helpless. Zhu Dainio looked at Mu Hin's thin and weak back, trembling. Her aggrieved look made his heart ache, and he also felt that Mu Hin was very pitiful. Therefore, he stood up and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Mother, I think it must be third brother who bullied the girl." When old Madame Zhu heard Zhu Dainio's defense, she couldn't help but glare at Zhu Dainio. She reprimanded, "You child, why don't you speak up for your own family and defend outsiders?" "Mother, I'm not defending an outsider. What I said is the truth. Don't you know what kind of person third brother is?" Zhu Dainio had just finished speaking when Zhu Sanlu said very unhappily, "Brother, what do you mean? What do you mean by don't you know what kind of person I am? Tell me, what kind of person am I?" Zhu Dainio snorted and said without any trace of politeness, "A third brother, do you still need me to say it clearly? How many bad things have you done? You hit Hua before, and then you pooped with your sister-in-law. You're an animal." After Zhu Dainio finished speaking, Zhu Sanlu was so angry that he almost jumped up. His big brother was too much. Mrs. Zhu was also unhappy. She frowned and said, "Dainio, how can you say that about your brother? What kind of brother are you?" "Mother, you see, I'm telling the truth, but you don't like to hear it. Outsiders might not know what kind of person third brother is, but how could our family not know?" This time, he must have made a move on Mu Hin's little sister. He even said that Mu Hin's little sister was pestering him. "Mother, you're the only one who treats third younger brother like a treasure. With third younger brother's appearance, not to mention younger sister Mu Hin who's so delicate, he wouldn't even be interested in ordinary women, right? After all, he's missing something now, and he's not an ordinary man. Hearing Zhu Dainiu's words, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Sanlu's faces turned red. If they weren't afraid of Zhu Dainiu and didn't dare to hit Zhu Dainiu, they probably would have rushed over and fought with Zhu Dainiu. You little brat, stop talking. If you tell others, how can your third brother face others in the future? How can he get married in the future? Mrs. Zhu said angrily. Zhu Dainiu wasn't worried about Zhu Sanlu at all. Mother, I didn't say anything. Now I just want to persuade third younger brother to stop bullying and making trouble. Mu Hin is third younger brother's little sister. If third younger brother knows that third younger brother bullied his little sister like this, I think he'll beat third younger brother to death and tell others about third younger brother's embarrassing things. Chapter 848. They knew what kind of person Zhu Eru was. If they angered Zhu Eru, the consequences would probably be worse than what Zhu Dainiu had said. Mrs. Zhu's lips trembled and she said to Zhu Dainiu, "Sai, what should we do? We can't let Eru know about this." She thought about how Zhu Eru had killed Zhu Sanlu last time and directly made Zhu Sanlu impotent. If he did it again this time, he was afraid that he would lose his life. Zhu Sanlu immediately gave up. He frowned and asked Mrs. Zhu, "Mom, what should I do? What if Eru hits me?" Mrs. Zhu comforted him, "It's okay, don't worry." After Mrs. Zhu comforted Zhu Sanlu, she said to Zhu Dainiu, "Dainiu, don't tell anyone about this. Can't know about it. Doesn't know how to control his strength." Zhu Dainiu only felt that it was funny. Was it okay if he didn't say anything? Mu Xian wasn't a fool. Her mouth was on her body. If she wanted to say something, who could stop her? Before Zhu Dainiu could say anything, San shouted at Mrs. Zhu, I'll go tell my father. He'll say that my uncle bullied my aunt." Old Lady Zhu glared at San with hatred. "You little bastard, San said and ran away. Mrs. Zhu couldn't catch up with her. Sigh. Mrs. Zhu sighed. If Zhu Eru came back, what should she do? She couldn't let anything happen to Lu. "Mom, what should we do? What should we do?" Zhu Sanlu asked anxiously. Mrs. Zhu shook her head. She didn't know either. Zhu Dainiu found it funny and sneered at Zhu Sanlu, "Third brother, you are quite timid at this time. Why didn't you think that second brother would do it before?" Mrs. Zhu glared at Zhu Dainiu. "What are you saying now? Hurry up and think of a solution for your brother." "Mother, what can we do? It's better to let third brother hide quickly. It's fine as long as second brother doesn't catch him." Mrs. Zhu nodded. Yes. "Hurry up and hide." With that, Mrs. Zhu called out to Zhu Sanlu, "Hurry up and hide." Zhu Sanlu was so scared that his chrysanthemum tightened. He quickly ran away and hid in some corner. Mrs. Zhu didn't dare to provoke Mu Hin anymore, so she returned to her room. After the two weirdos left, Mu Hin heaved a heavy sigh and finally stopped tormenting her. It was all thanks to Zhu Dainiu that she was able to get away and third brother didn't get beaten. Therefore, Mu Hin looked at Zhu Dainiu gratefully. "Thank you." The young girl's clear voice sounded. Zhu Dainiu saw Mu Hin smiling at him. The smile on her face was like a daisy, very beautiful. Coupled with Mu Hin's pleasant voice, Zhu Dainiu suddenly felt his heart ripple, and his whole body became light. Zhu Dainiu was stunned for a while, then he quickly shook his head at Mu Hin and said, it's nothing. You don't have to be so polite." "But if it weren't for you, third brother, and I would definitely..." Zhu Dainiu looked at Mu Hin with pity. "It's fine now. My mother and third brother definitely won't dare to bully you in the future. If they bully you, just tell me. I will go and teach them a lesson." "Okay." Mu Hin answered timidly, showing the shyness of a little girl. Chapter 849. Mu Hin nodded, then shook her head. "Then I'll go in." Mu Hin limped into Mu Lan's room. Zhu Dainiu's gaze fell on Mu Hin, and he could not retract it for a long time. The young lady was still prettier. She was just more moving than his wife. Madame Chi watched from the side. She saw the interaction between Zhu Dainiu and Mu Hin, as well as Zhu Dainiu's reaction. When she saw Zhu Dainiu staring at Mu Xin, that look of reluctance and longing, it was as if he wanted to stick to her body. Madame Qi guessed that Zhu Dainiu was most likely attracted to Mu Hin. Men were all the same. They all liked young and beautiful women. Madame Qi's heart was filled with jealousy and jealousy. She looked at Zhu Dainiu with a resentful expression and said, "Dainiu, she's already gone into the room. Why are you still looking at her? You've been seduced by that little vixen, haven't you?" Madame Qi's words made Zhu Dainiu's face heat up. It was as if his thoughts had been seen through. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Zhu Dainiu reprimanded Madame Qi with a sullen face. Madame Qi pursed her lips indignantly. I'm not wrong. Look at that little vixen's eyes. It's as if she wants to eat her up. Dainiu, tell me honestly, have you taken a liking to that little vixen? I've never seen you meddle in other people's business before. Now you're actually helping others. You stinking woman. If you continue to talk nonsense, do you believe that I'll teach you a lesson? I haven't hit you for a while, and you're itching for a beating? Zhu Dainiu reprimanded her, and his gaze suddenly became sharp. Seeing that Zhu Dainiu was angry, Madame Qi was so frightened that she quickly shut her mouth. She did not dare to say anything else. Mu Hin is second brother's wife's younger sister. She's considered our relative. If I can help her, I'll help her. What's the big deal? Zhu Dainiu added another sentence, as if he was trying to defend himself. Madame Qi didn't believe Zhu Dainiu's nonsense, but she didn't dare to refute. If she angered Zhu Dainiu, he would definitely punish her. However, Madame Qi was extremely jealous of Mu Hin. She actually dared to seduce her man. She would definitely teach her a lesson later. Zhao Yuner tidied up the house. In the afternoon, Zhao Yuner's aunt, Feng Zhangxia, came over. As soon as they arrived at Zhao Yuner's home, Feng Zhangxia enthusiastically approached Zhao Yuner. She warmed Zhao Yuner up and even brought a lot of vegetables over. As the saying goes, one who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. Her great-aunt must have come for something. Zhao Yuner raised her eyebrows and asked Feng Zhangxia, "Aunt, what can I do for you?" Feng Zhangxia gave a fake smile and said, "Yuner girl, what are you saying? Can't first aunt stay here and chat with you and have a chat?" Zhao Yuner sneered in her heart, but she forced a smile on her face and said, "Of course not. Aunt, you can come over if you want to." However, I thought that normally people would only think of coming here when they need help. After Zhao Yuner said that, Feng Zhangxia felt very embarrassed. Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly. "I shouldn't do that. If I don't need your help, I should visit you more often. I know that. It's just that I don't have much time on weekdays." After saying that, Feng Zhangxia observed Zhao Yuner's expression to see how Zhao Yuner would react. Chapter 850. Feng Zhangxia's face darkened. After Zhao Yuner said that, she couldn't say what she had prepared. After hesitating for a while, she finally said to Zhao Yuner, "Hey, Yuner, I do have something I need your help with." "You're here to ask for my help? I was wondering why Auntie had so much free time to come to my house to see me." Zhao Yuner looked at Feng Zhangxia with a smile, which made Feng Zhangxia very uncomfortable. Feng Zhangxia wasn't stupid. She naturally knew that Zhao Yuner was mocking her. If it was in the past, she could completely ignore her and leave after scolding her. But now that she had a favor to ask, what could she do? She controlled her temper and still looked at Zhao Yuner with a smile. "Hey, Yuner, I don't have a choice. If I can avoid troubling you, who would want to bother you?" Zhao Yuner sneered, thinking that Feng Zhangxia was really lying. Li Chuang was the kind of person who was shameless in public, while Feng Zhangxia was shameless in private. She was more scheming than Li Chuang. Seeing that Zhao Yuner didn't say anything, Feng Zhangxia continued shamelessly, "Yuner, actually, I just want to ask you for a favor. What is it?" "Your second cousin brother is going to have a blind date tomorrow, and he's chosen a girl. I've already told them that the girl will go to Yang City the day after tomorrow to eat at your breakfast stall. Can you bring your second cousin brother along when you go to Yang City the day after tomorrow and entertain them?" You know that if you invite them to our house, the girl will be too embarrassed to come, and your grandmother will definitely be reluctant to entertain them. I heard that the girl's family is very rich. If the person we entertain isn't satisfied, what if this marriage is called off? Feng Zhangxia said a lot, as if she was acting pitiful. Zhao Yuner only felt that it was very funny. Sure enough, this was what an ordinary person would say. However, when it came to her second cousin's marriage, Zhao Yun became concerned about it. Zhao Tianhu treated their family well. Zhao Yun would help him if she could. However, Zhao Yun didn't want Feng Zhangxia to take advantage of her. It would make her think that she was easy to talk to. Zhao Yun sneered and said, "Aunt, it's not that I don't want to help my second cousin brother, but when the time comes to entertain them, do you have to pay for their breakfast?" When Feng Zhangxia heard Zhao Yuner's words, she didn't expect Zhao Yuner to be so calculative. Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly and said, "You know, your breakfast shouldn't cost much, right? How much can a few people eat? Just help them. Alas, you know, we haven't separated from the family, and the money is in your grandmother's hands. Even if your aunt wants to give you money, she can't." The corners of Zhao Yuner's mouth curled up for a moment. Her aunt's excuse was not bad. "Aunt, you can't say that. The breakfast I make and sell are all good things. If a few people eat casually, it will be dozens of copper coins. I can help you, but I have to calculate the accounts clearly. After all, it's not easy to run a business, and it's hard to make money. Aunt, you can discuss it with Grandma first and take out the money. If Grandma really doesn't want to give it to me, I'll keep this money and wait for you to separate from the family. When you have money, you can give it to me." After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, there was a faint smile at the corner of her mouth. Chapter 851. Zhao Yun was harder to deal with than she had imagined. "Well?" Zhao Yuner smiled and asked, "Aunt, it's not too much to ask, is it?" Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly. She thought that if she were to discuss with Huo Chunhua's calculative character, it would be strange if she was willing to take out money. If they separated from the family, well, it was fine. Her Tianlong was so promising that he would definitely be able to pass the imperial exam this year. At that time, she wouldn't be able to take out as much money as she wanted. She didn't care about dozens of copper coins at all. Therefore, she nodded with a smile. "It's not too much. Yun, please help me with your second cousin's business." Zhao Yuner smiled. "It's fine." After that, Feng Zhangxia didn't stay at Zhao Yun's place for too long before she went back home. Zhao Yun went to the third branch after she was done with the family business. These days, because there were people coming over to help with the work, Zhao Yun had to go to the third branch to help cook, so that the men who were working could eat to their heart's content, so that they could work harder. When they were cooking, Zhao Yun chatted with Liang Jinqiao. "Yunlu, your aunt asked someone to send a message. She said that she will come to our house tomorrow," Liang Jinqiao said. Because Zhao Ping's marriage was closer, they had to send money as a gift before Zhao Ping's wedding. It would be very late if her aunt came tomorrow. However, it was understandable. After all, they didn't live in the same village. It was the busy time of farming now, so it wasn't easy for her to find time. Hearing that her aunt was coming, Zhao Yun frowned at first. She didn't like it in her heart. With her uncles, aunts, Zhao Yun was afraid of Liang Jinqiao's relatives. What if it was another relative coming over? She didn't want to entertain those weird and annoying relatives. There was very little information about her little aunt in the original owner's memories, so Zhao Yun couldn't judge whether this little aunt was strange or not. "Let's do it," Zhao Yun said. No matter how strange the person was, with her around, he didn't believe that they could bully his family. "Yuner, don't worry. Your aunt is a nice person," Liang Jinqiao said with a smile. Seeing Zhao Yuner's expression, Liang Jinqiao had already guessed what Zhao Yuner was thinking. "Really?" Zhao Yun couldn't believe it. "You'll know when you see him." But hearing Liang Jinqiao's words, Zhao Yun became expectant. The two of them chatted about other things as they cooked. After dinner, Zhao Yun packed up the food she had left for Mu Lianfeng before sending it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng began to get busy again in the past 2 days. From Mu Lianfeng's conversation with Mo Yen, Zhao Yun learnt that it was about making weapons. Zhao Yun did not know much about ancient weapons, so she could not help Mu Lianfeng. The only thing she could do was make some delicious food behind him and send it to him. Knowing that Mo Yen was working with Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun prepared an extra portion for Mo Yen to eat. "Mother, do you want Daodu to go with you?" Daodu tugged at the corner of Zhao Yun's clothes considerately as he asked softly. "No need. I can do it alone. You stay at home and have a good rest, okay?" Zhao Yun touched Daodu's little face and said gently, "All right." Daodu seemed a little disappointed. "What's wrong, Daodu? Are you unhappy?" Chapter 852. Daodu's pitiful little face really made people feel sorry for him. Zhao Yun nodded heavily and replied, "Okay, I know. I'll tell your father what Daodu said." But Zhao Yun carried the food up the mountain. When she entered Mu Lianfeng's tent, Mu Lianfeng and Mo Yen were talking so seriously that they didn't notice Zhao Yun's arrival. Seeing them discussing work, Zhao Yun didn't have the heart to disturb them. Mu Lianfeng didn't realize it until he smelled a familiar scent. He raised his head and looked in the direction of Zhao Yun. Why are you here? When did you come? Why don't you guess?" "Well, I thought you wouldn't notice. I didn't expect you to only realize it now," Zhao Yun said and sighed in disappointment. She continued, "Mu Lianfeng, it seems like Mo Yen is much more attractive than me. Did you have a good time chatting with him?" After Zhao Yun said that, Mo Yan's anus tightened. "Oh my God, was Madam jealous of him? No way. Please don't. There was nothing between him and his master. There was nothing at all." If Zhao Yun really misunderstood, Mu Lianfeng would definitely find fault with him later. Unsurprisingly, after Zhao Yun said that, Mu Lianfeng's cold eyes shot towards Mo Yen. Mo Yen only felt very wronged. Why was she always the one who was hurt? "Why didn't you remind Madam when she came?" Mu Lianfeng asked coldly. Mo Yen said with a bitter face, "Master? I'm the same as you." I didn't see it either. When she met Mu Lianfeng's cold eyes, she looked away in fear. Zhao Yun had no idea how to react when she saw Mo Yen being bullied by Mu Lianfeng. This was the first time he had seen such a bad master. Zhao Yun watched on, so she came to Mo Yan's rescue. "All right, stop talking. Let's eat. If we wait any longer, the food will really turn cold." Mo Yen was rather eager, but she still held back. She wanted to see what Mu Lianfeng had to say first. Only when Mu Lianfeng said it was ready did she dare to go over. Hearing Zhao Yun's greeting, he knew that Zhao Yun was not angry with him. Mu Lianfeng also smiled and said, "Well, I know you. Thank you for bringing us the food." Zhao Yun said, "It's no trouble at all." Mo Yen also came over eagerly and said to Zhao Yun, "Madam, you're still the most considerate. You're nicer to people. You're not like my master at all. He's so heartless." As Zhao Yun said, she glanced at Mu Lianfeng with some complaint. When Mu Lianfeng glared at her, she immediately shut her mouth in fright. "Pa, let's eat. Your master really knows how to bully people. I don't know why you're still so loyal to him when he bullies you like this. If it were me, I probably would have run away long ago." Right? "Madam, you're absolutely right. There really aren't many people as loyal as me these days. It's all because my master is so lucky." As Mo Yen said that, she raised her chin proudly. She felt that she and Zhao Yun were very compatible. "Your master is quite lucky," Zhao Yun said with a smile. Chapter 853. Mo Yen knew that to Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun's words were like an imperial edict that he would listen to. Maybe after hearing what Zhao Yun said, Mu Lianfeng would treat him better. After all, it was hard to find a subordinate like him. He was good at martial arts and he was handsome. He would be very eye-catching when he went out. Just as Mo Yen was feeling complacent, Mu Lianfeng stomped down heavily on Mo Yen. Ah! Mo Yen screamed and looked at Mu Lianfeng fiercely. She asked Mu Lianfeng, "Master, why did you step on me?" Mu Lianfeng smiled. "You said something wrong, so you should be punished. Also, eat properly when it's time to eat. What's the point of saying so much? You don't have to eat if you don't want to. I can finish so much by myself." Mo Yen pouted, feeling even more wronged. What could he say? He could only let his master bully him. Sigh. Mo Yen sighed deeply, feeling very wronged. However, she didn't dare to say anything more, afraid that she would make Mu Lianfeng unhappy and she wouldn't be able to eat such delicious food. Zhao Yun had been listening to their conversation just now. She saw that their conversation touched on the issue of the sharpness of the weapons. In the era of cold weapons, soldiers relied on these weapons to fight. The better the quality of the weapon, the more effective it would be in battle. Now, the problem that Mu Lianfeng found very troublesome was that the emperor was very dissatisfied with the weapon samples they submitted. He felt that the quality of the weapons didn't meet the standard, so he told Mu Lianfeng to improve the weapons and make them sharper. However, it was impossible to come up with a solution just by thinking about it. Mu Lianfeng thought about it himself and asked some people to help him think, but he still couldn't come up with a solution. It was because of this that Mu Lianfeng was very anxious. After all, the emperor's weight was limited. If they couldn't come up with a solution in the given time, it would be troublesome if the emperor got angry. Mu Lianfeng had been in a terrible fix because of this matter for the past few days. He didn't want to burden her with his troubles, so Mu Lianfeng didn't talk to Zhao Yun about it. If it were not for the fact that Zhao Yun had not entered Mu Lianfeng's tent without being discovered by Mu Lianfeng and Mu Lianfeng's conversation, Zhao Yun probably would not have known about this. Thinking about what Daodu had told her today, Zhao Yun suddenly felt a tinge of sadness in her heart. If Mu Lianfeng didn't solve the problem, he wouldn't be able to accompany Daodu so soon. Thinking of this, Zhao Yun felt that she had better help them think of a solution. How could he make a weapon sharp? This should have something to do with the materials used in the weapon. The material was hard, but the weapon was sharp. In this era, the weapons that people forged were basically made of iron. Zhao Yun thought for a while, wondering if she could find something harder to replace it. Suddenly, Zhao Yun was a little excited as if she suddenly thought of something. She didn't know if this method would work. She had to experiment it first. She didn't have much time today, so she would go up the mountain tomorrow and try again. If it worked, she would help Mu Lianfeng find a solution. Chapter 854. Both of them had eaten a lot, but they looked like they hadn't had enough. If it weren't for the fact that she could earn some money, she wouldn't be able to raise such a big family. Waiting for the two people to finish eating, Zhao Yun cleaned up the dishes. Mo Yen burped loudly. After burping, she looked at Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng awkwardly. "Master, madam, I ate a little too much." Mo Yen didn't forget to flatter. "It's all because madam's food is too delicious. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to." Zhao Yun couldn't help but twitch the corner of her mouth a few times. So, it was her fault that he ate too much? Mu Lianfeng rolled his eyes at Mo Yen and snorted, "Eat less next time." "I know, master. Alas, I can't control myself. Besides, there's so much food. We can't waste it, right?" "Don't worry. It won't be wasted." As long as he was here, he could eat as much as he wanted. Mo Yen answered resentfully again. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart that her master was too inhumane. It was fine that she bullied him usually, but she was stingy when it came to food. Could it be that she couldn't see how much weight he had lost after coming to this mountain? "Mu Lianfeng, if you have something to do, you can go ahead. I'm going back." Zhao Yun carried the lunchbox and was about to leave. At this time, the sky outside had already darkened. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yun would be in danger if she went down the mountain alone, so he said to Zhao Yun, "Yun, it's not safe at the foot of the mountain. I'd better give you a ride." Zhao Yun shook her head. "It's fine. You go ahead. I can do it alone." Zhao Yun didn't want to waste Mu Lianfeng's time. In the past few days, because of this matter, Mu Lianfeng was so worried that he didn't have a good rest. His eyes were bloodshot. Zhao Yun felt very distressed when she saw this. I'm not busy. Yuner, I'll give you a ride. I can also go out and get some fresh air. Mu Lianfeng insisted. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yun didn't know what to say. She nodded and said, Okay, then give me a ride. And Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile, making people feel as if they were bathing in the spring breeze. The two of them walked out of the tent side by side and headed towards the foot of the mountain. When they reached a place where no one was around, Mu Lianfeng suddenly pulled Zhao Yuner and hugged Zhao Yuner tightly in his arms. Zhao Yuner was stunned by Mu Lianfeng's sudden action. She couldn't help but ask, What's wrong, Mu Lianfeng? Are you okay? Mu Lianfeng shook his head and said, I'm fine. It's just that I've been too busy these 2 days. I don't have time to accompany you and Daodu. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yuner also curled up the corners of her mouth. In fact, she had missed him a lot. But she could tell the situation clearly. Mu Lianfeng was busy with business. Naturally, he didn't have much time to accompany her. It's fine. When you're done, you can accompany us again. Zhao Yuner said with a smile. And Mu Lianfeng responded, but he was very worried in his heart. Rather than being worried, it was more like he was afraid. Because this matter was very tricky, he was afraid that if he didn't handle it well, the emperor would be angry. At that time, not only would he not be able to ask the emperor to grant him a marriage, he was also afraid that the emperor would torture him. Chapter 855. But if he didn't do it well? Although the emperor didn't have any reason to blame him, he had other ways to make things difficult for him. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yun would be implicated. It wasn't easy for them to have hope, but this time, it was abruptly interrupted. Zhao Yun broke away from Mu Lianfeng's embrace. Seeing Mu Lianfeng frowning, she stretched out her hand to smooth out the wrinkles between Mu Lianfeng's eyebrows. She said to Mu Lianfeng, Take your time. You're not alone now. You have Daodu and me. Mu Lianfeng responded. Zhao Yun's words were like a warm current flowing through his heart. Let's go. Zhao Yun held Mu Lianfeng's hand and was about to continue walking when they heard a sound from the grass. It was a woman's coquettish voice again. Zhao Yun's face was suddenly dyed with a blush. She knew who this familiar voice belonged to. It should be Zhang Cui, who couldn't bear it anymore and went to find someone to do it. It would be fine if she ran into it alone, but Mu Lianfeng was with her. Mu Lianfeng seemed to have noticed it too. He frowned and asked softly, What's this sound? Who's there? Let's go and have a look. Zhao Yun was shocked when she heard it. She hurriedly pulled Mu Lianfeng. What was there to look at? It would be so embarrassing if she ran into Mu Lianfeng at the same time. It should be nothing. You'd better not go and have a look, Zhao Yun said casually. The more Zhao Yun said, the more curious Mu Lianfeng was. Yun, do you know who it is? What happened? Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked. Well, Zhao Yun didn't know how to respond. What could she say? She couldn't possibly tell Mu Lianfeng that the man and woman in the bushes were having an affair right in front of him. I'll go and have a look. It's so late at night. What if something happens to her? Mu Lianfeng was silent for a while and finally insisted on going. With Mu Lianfeng's tall body, Zhao Yun realized that she couldn't hold him back at all. She could only let Mu Lianfeng do as he pleased. Zhao Yun lowered her head and quickly followed him. Be careful. Let's take a look first. Don't disturb others. What if nothing happened? All right. Mu Lianfeng walked over softly. When he got closer, he saw a man and a woman performing an erotic scene in front of him. Yun is fine. Let's go. Mu Lianfeng said and covered Zhao Yun's eyes, as if he was afraid that Zhao Yun would see it. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was so calm, Zhao Yun couldn't help being curious. Did he really not see anything? It didn't make sense. She couldn't have been hallucinating just now. Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask, Mu Lianfeng, didn't you see anything? Mu Lianfeng stopped walking and shook his head. No, However, after saying this, a trace of unnoticeable awkwardness flashed across Mu Lianfeng's face. But there was a sound just now. Mu Lianfeng cleared his throat. Yuner, let's go. It's other people's business. Mu Lianfeng's words made Zhao Yuner realize that Mu Lianfeng had seen Zhang Chui'er doing it just now. He just didn't want her to see it, so he deliberately said that. Seeing Mu Lianfeng's serious look, she felt that he was really cute. Chapter 856. Mu Lianfeng sent Zhao Yuner to the entrance of the village before turning back. He didn't come back to sleep for the past 2 days and slept directly on the mountain. Zhao Yuner felt a little uncomfortable with no one to warm her bed. On the way back, when she passed by Mu Lan's house, she saw a sneaky figure. She didn't know what he was doing. Zhao Yuner was very familiar with this figure. It was none other than Mu Lan's wretched uncle, Zhu Sanlu. Needless to say, Zhu Sanlu was still strolling in front of the courtyard at this time of night. There must be something wrong. Meanwhile, the lights in family Zhu's house were on in Mu Lan's house. Zhu Sanlu's reaction seemed to be very anxious. He looked nervously in the direction of family Zhu. Zhao Yuner came closer, and Zhu Sanlu also noticed Zhao Yuner. Zhu Sanlu wanted to flirt with Zhao Yuner. After suffering a loss that night, he knew that Zhao Yuner wasn't so easy to deal with. Therefore, he just stared at Zhao Yuner wretchedly for a while. When she met Zhu Sanlu's gaze, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but frown. She said to Zhu Sanlu unhappily, "Why are you looking at me? Do you believe that I won't gouge your eyes out if you keep looking?" Zhao Yuner's tone was a little shrewish and threatening. Zhu Sanlu smiled wretchedly and said, "Little girl, aren't you good looking for people to see? Is there anything wrong with looking at you?" Zhao Yuner couldn't help but roll her eyes and say sarcastically, "I'm good looking for people to see, not for a beast like you." Zhu Sanlu knew that Zhao Yuner was mocking him. He glared at Zhao Yuner angrily and said, "Woman, how can you say that?" Zhao Yuner's sneer deepened. "Look, I'm not wrong to say that you're a beast. As long as you're a human, you can understand my words. Only beasts can't." Zhu Sanlu's anger was stirred up by Zhao Yuner. How could this woman be so overboard? She kept calling him a beast. How is he a beast? Don't go too far. If you provoke me, I'll hit you. Zhu Sanlu gritted his teeth and said. Zhao Yuner only thought that it was funny. Glancing at Zhu Sanlu's thin and weak body, Zhao Yuner put her hands on her waist, condescendingly said, "I'm curious if you can beat me." Zhao Yuner's words made Zhu Sanlu feel that his dignity had been greatly insulted. What she meant was that he, a man, couldn't even beat a woman. If this spread out, who knows how many people would laugh at him. In order to prove himself and save his dignity, Zhu Sanlu decided to teach Zhu Sanlu a lesson first and let Zhao Yuner see how powerful he was. "Just you wait, stinking woman. I'll beat you until you kneel down and beg for mercy." With that, Zhu Sanlu rushed over. Zhu Sanlu thought that if he really subdued Zhao Yuner, he would molest Zhao Yuner while he was at it. It would be a pity if he didn't bully such a beautiful woman. Seeing Zhu Sanlu rushing over, Zhao Yuner stood calmly in the same place. She couldn't understand Zhu Sanlu's thin and weak body. Where did he get the confidence to beat someone? Let's not talk about her. Even an ordinary woman with no skills might not be able to defeat him. Chapter 857. Zhao Yuner's movements were as smooth as flowing water. At the same time, she kicked Zhu Sanlu away effortlessly. Withdrawing her foot, Zhao Yuner's eyes flashed with disdain. After Zhu Sanlu flew out, he screamed. His scream was very miserable. "It hurts. It hurts so much," Zhu Sanlu said and struggled to get up from the ground. But before he could straighten up for a while, he fell down again. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu's chin was knocked open, Zhao Yuner's heart was secretly pleased. Zhao Yuner lowered her head and squatted in front of Zhu Sanlu. Her voice sounded sarcastic. "What? Didn't you say that you were going to teach me a lesson? Why are you so weak?" Zhu Sanlu gritted his teeth. You wait and see. Humph. Oh, you're still being stubborn. It seems that I have to teach you a lesson. Zhao Yun said and stepped on Zhu Sanlu's crotch again. Zhu Sanlu hurriedly begged for mercy. Yun, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have hit you. Please let me go. The reason why he became so scared in a second was that the thing below was too important for Zhu Sanlu. Now that it was finally getting better, if Zhao Yun's foot went down, wouldn't it be impossible for the things below to get better? Zhao Yun sneered and said, What? You were still lustful just now, but you lost your courage so quickly? Yun, it's my fault. I shouldn't have taken advantage of you. Please let me go. I don't want to be impotent for the rest of my life. I promise that I will stay far away from you when I see you in the future. I will never dirty your eyes. Hearing Zhu Sanlu's words, Zhao Yun felt that it was acceptable. Jiao Tian got down from Zhu Sanlu's dirty thing with disgust. He raised his eyebrows and said, Remember what you said today. Yes. Just when Zhu Sanlu thought he was saved, the commotion attracted Zhu Eru. As soon as he saw Zhu Eru, Zhu Sanlu was so scared that he immediately fled. Zhu Eru didn't give him the chance. He immediately stepped forward and grabbed Zhu Sanlu's collar. Zhao Yun couldn't figure out what was going on. After that, Mulan also rushed over. She frowned and stared at Zhu Eru and Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Eru snorted in a deep voice. Run? Let's see where you can run to. Through. Zhu Sanlu called Zhao Eru, but there was fear in his eyes when he looked at Zhao Eru. Zhu Eru coldly snorted, Don't call me second brother. You only know how to do those beastly things all day, and you still have the nerve to call me second brother? Zhu Sanlu had an aggrieved look on his face. Second brother, I was wondering why I couldn't find you. It turns out that you secretly ran out to hide. Since you know that what you did was wrong, why did you still do it? Facing Zhu Eru's aggressive and frightening eyes, Zhu Sanlu began to regret. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have dared to do it. Second brother, I was wrong. I was wrong. Can you let me go? I won't dare to do it again. Zhu Eru snorted. Haven't I let you go many times? I'm being merciful by not killing you. Chapter 858. Zhu Er didn't show any mercy when he beat Zhu Sanlu. Seeing Zhu Sanlu like this, Zhao Yun was worried that Zhu Sanlu would be beaten to death by Zhu Eru. Although Zhu Sanlu was a little hateful, this was the same as the 21st century. A life for a life. If Zhu Sanlu really died, Zhu Eru had to take the responsibility. Seeing Zhu Eru so angry, Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask Mulan, Mulan, what did your third younger brother do to make Eru so angry? Mulan sighed and explained to Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun didn't understand what had happened until she heard it. Zhu Sanlu was a disgusting man. Zhu Eru didn't punish him that badly. Under Zhu Eru's punches, Zhu Sanlu's whole face was bruised and swollen. Seeing Zhu Sanlu like this, Zhao Yun couldn't help laughing. He deserved it. After beating Zhu Sanlu hard, Zhu Eru finally vented his anger. He pulled Mulan and said, Let's go back. We'll be able to answer to Xin this time. Mulan glanced at Zhu Sanlu, who couldn't get up from the ground. She couldn't help asking, Uncle, do you want to carry him back with us? Zhu Eru snorted. Since he wants to hide outside, let him be. We don't need to care about him. Fine. I'm going back now. You should go back too. Zhao Yun nodded. Sure, Mrs. Mulan. After they went back home from Family Zhu's place, Zhao Yun fell asleep soon with Daodu. The next morning, they went to the breakfast stall early. It was strange that Yi Li didn't come to eat breakfast today. Yi Li came to eat breakfast at her stall every day. It had become a habit. If he didn't come, something must have happened. Yun, why didn't Lord Yi come today? Mulan got close to Zhao Yun and asked curiously. Zhao Yun shook her head. I don't know. There was a hint of disappointment in Mulan's eyes as she said, Sigh, without Mr. Yi, our business has been greatly affected. There aren't any young ladies buying breakfast today. Zhao Yun chuckled. Sister Mulan, I think you're disappointed because you can't see a handsome man, right? Mu glared at Zhao Yun coquettishly. You, ha ha ha, aren't you that kind of a woman? You can't even look straight when you see a man. Mu Lan pursed her lips as if she didn't agree. She reminded Zhao Yun, you can only joke about this outside. If Eru hears this, he might get jealous in front of me. Zhao Yun quickly nodded. Okay, I got it. Although she was joking with Mu Lan, Zhao Yun was secretly worried about Yi Li. She hoped that nothing would happen to this guy. She set up the breakfast stall with a heavy heart. Without Yi Li's beautiful signboard, Zhao Yun's business was very bleak. When she closed the stall, there were still a lot of things on Zhao Yun's stall that hadn't been sold. However, these things weren't sold, so there wasn't much left. Zhao Yun and Mu Lan's families could share a little and bring it to their children. Chapter 859. After shopping at the market, Zhao Yun and the others set off for home. On the way, Mu Lan and Mu Hin kept reminding her that if anyone bullied her again, she must tell them. After all, if Mu Hin didn't say anything, they wouldn't know. They couldn't let Mu Hin be bullied for nothing. The car stopped in front of old Zhao's yard. When Zhao Yun got out of the car and was about to go back to prepare lunch, she saw Li Chuang rushing over angrily. It seemed that she was going to fight Zhao Yun to the death. Zhao Yun frowned immediately. She didn't know what Li Chuang had done this time. She raised her eyebrows unhappily and asked Li Chuang, "Second aunt, why are you acting like a shrew in front of me? What did I do to offend you?" Zhao Yun's tone was a little more reproachful. She looked at Li Chuang as if she was looking at a mad dog. Li Chuang snorted coldly and said to Zhao Yun, "You little b***, you still have the nerve to ask? Don't you know what shameful things you've done?" Zhao Yun's frown deepened, and she became more curious. What could she have done? These days, she didn't have any contact with old Zhao's family at all. What did she do to offend Li Chuang for no reason? Liang Jinxiao walked over and said to Li Chuang, "Second sister-in-law, what's the matter? You can make it clear. You hit her as soon as you came. We're all family. Why are you so impulsive?" Liang Jinxiao was also unhappy about Li Chuang's crazy behavior. If anyone hurt Zhao Yun, she would definitely not let them off easily. Li Chuang took a few deep breaths. She rolled up her sleeves and pouted. She looked at Zhao Yun and Liang Jinxiao aggressively and said, "Didn't you want to ask why? All right, I'll tell you about it today." Li Chuang didn't mind the trouble and shouted outside old Zhao's yard, as if she was afraid that she wouldn't cause trouble. "Everyone come and judge. How can there be such a shameless teasich in the world?" Along with Li Chuang's loud voice and the gossipy nature of the villagers, a lot of people came to join in the fun after hearing Li Chuang's loud voice. Seeing that there were villagers here, Li Chuang became more arrogant. "Third sister-in-law, don't blame me for being angry with you. Look at what a good daughter you have." "What's wrong with my daughter?" Liang Jinxiao replied unhappily. Except for Zhao Ping, Liang Jinxiao knew Zhao Yun very well. He couldn't find anything bad about her. "Don't you feel ashamed to say this? Zhao Yun has learned how to seduce people. She even dares to steal her cousin's man." Li Chuang was very angry when she said this. Her face was gloomy. When she saw Zhao Yun's face, she wanted to tear Zhao Yun's face apart. If Zhao Yun becomes an ugly monster, let's see if she still has the ability to seduce men. "Second sister-in-law, what do you mean? You can't talk nonsense. When did Yun steal her cousin's man?" Liang Jinxiao also asked with a gloomy face. At this time, there were so many villagers and neighbors. If Li Chuang slandered Zhao Yun like this, it would be really bad for Zhao Yun's reputation. Zhao Yun narrowed her eyes slightly. She wasn't anxious and thought about what had happened in between. Why did Li Chuang say this? Chapter 860. My sister-in-law, you shouldn't be so protective of your daughter like this. Let me make it clear in front of so many people. Anyway, you're the ones who should be embarrassed. Our Jing and Child Zheng's marriage were going well, but Child Zheng suddenly asked matchmaker Feng to come over today and say that he wants to marry Yuner, not Jing. My sister-in-law, why would Child Zheng say that? Your daughter must have done something to make him change his mind. After Li Chuang finished speaking, Zhao Jinger walked behind Li Chuang with a sullen face. She seemed to be very sad. Zhao Jing called her mother in a hoarse voice. Her eyes were red. She had been crying. Zhao Jinger probably thought that this was a good marriage and that she had almost reached an agreement with the Zheng family. She should be able to marry Zheng Qian. She didn't expect that matchmaker Gao would suddenly come over today with this news. No one could bear such a huge sense of loss. Mother, forget it. Zhao Jinger pulled Li Chuang and said. Now that Zheng Qian had said so, what else could she do? She couldn't argue with Zheng Qian and force him to marry her. If other people knew, they would definitely laugh at her. Zhao Jinger felt wronged thinking about it. Li Chuang pulled Zhao Jinger's hand. Jing, how can we just let it go like this? Zhao Yuner, that little bitch, stole your future husband. How can you do this? Dear neighbors and fellow villagers, please be the judge for me. Although the onlookers didn't know what had happened, they had a general idea. Previously, Li Chuang thought that Zhao Yuner had found a good marriage and even showed it off in the village. He didn't expect that only 2 days later, the person he wanted to marry became Zhao Yuner. It must be that Zhao Yuner seduced Zhao Jinger's future husband. Therefore, the villagers began to talk about it. I didn't expect Zhao Yuner to be such a person. Exactly. How could she steal her cousin's man? Well, who knows? There are all kinds of people these days. No wonder old Zhao's second branch is angry. Anyone would be angry. That's not the case. It's probably because Zhao Yun felt that Jing had married into a good family, so she was jealous and snatched her away. That's probably the case. Otherwise, that man wouldn't change his mind and say that he's here to marry Zhao Yun instead of Jing. Yes, of course. The villagers were chattering, but they were all leaning towards Li Chuang's side, criticizing Zhao Yun's bad words. When Zhao Yun heard this, she only felt that it was very ridiculous. Did these people have any brains? Why did they believe what others said? Li Chuang was very proud when he heard that Zhao Yuner was criticized. This was the consequence of stealing Zhao Yuner's man. He was going to ruin Zhao Yuner's reputation and see if Zhao Yuner still dared to do it. Zhao Yuner, sister-in-law, what else do you have to say now? Li Chuang seemed to be in the right and continued to ask. Well, Liang Jinxiao didn't know how to refute Li Chuang. So he looked at Zhao Yuner and waited for Zhao Yuner's response. Zhao Yuner shrugged innocently. Aunt, you're ridiculous. That's not how you slander people, right? Chapter 861. Li Chuang was so arrogant because she was sure that the villagers would stand on her side. However, in Zhao Yun's eyes, she was just a clown. Zhao Yun sneered. Second aunt, let's not talk about why Child Jing changed his marriage partner to me. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I just want to ask, do I have to seduce Child Zheng and come between Sister Jing and Child Zheng? How is that impossible? If you didn't seduce him, would Child Jing take a fancy to you? Zhao Yun, don't quibble. It's useless. Li Chuang criticized her angrily. Zhao Yun snorted. Second aunt, where did you get the confidence that I would take a fancy to Child Zheng? Child Zheng is just a little rich. How can he compare with Child Shitzi? When the onlooking villagers heard Zhao Yun's words, they realized that a Child Shitzi was standing on Zhao Yun. Unless she was stupid, she wouldn't abandon Child Shitzi to be with an ordinary person like Child Zheng. Besides, marrying Child Zheng isn't going to be his wife. It's just a concubine. Second aunt, I'll make it clear to you here. Even if Child Zheng takes a fancy to me, it's useless. I definitely won't agree. Only you treasure me as a concubine. Do you think you've hooked up with a rich husband? After Zhao Yun finished speaking, there was a meaningful smile at the corner of her mouth. The onlooking villagers were in an uproar. It turned out that marrying Chao Jing to be a concubine was something that Li Chuang had the face to show off in front of the villagers. They thought that Zhao Jin had married into a good family. Then the villagers continued to talk about it, all of which were unpleasant to hear. How could Zhao Jin stand other people's comments? Her face turned red and she wanted to find a hole to hide in. "Mother, I told you to stop talking. Why are you still talking?" Zhao Jin said angrily to Li Chuang, then ran away with her face covered. After all, he was only a teenager. It was normal for him to feel ashamed. Zhao Yun sighed in her heart when she saw that Zhao Jing was about to cry because of the villagers' comments. She didn't want to hurt her cousin, but Li Chuang was too difficult to deal with. If she didn't say that, how could she refute Li Chuang? Li Chuang's face turned pale. In her heart, she was cursing Zhao Yuner, this little bitch. She was too much. Not only did she steal Jinger's man, but now she was causing gossip. Li Chuang was not willing to give up and continued, "Zhao Yuner, you're just saying it. Who knows what you're thinking in your heart? Using the heir apparent as a shield? If the heir apparent was really willing to marry you, he wouldn't have remained silent until now, right? Why are you still cooped up in the village and living like us? You can't live in the crown prince's residence. In my opinion, the heir apparent doesn't care about you at all. Maybe you can't even be the heir apparent's concubine in the future. That's why you want to marry Chao Jing." Zhao Yuner's eyes suddenly became sharp. This woman really had a lot of imagination. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.